Guys, like the video, guys, like the video, like the video, like the video. My people, like the video, subscribe, smash the like button, guys. Smash the like button, smash the like button. Guys, like the video, guys. So, my people, it's Monday Night Football. So we're gonna be talking a lot about this topic. I'm sorry, guys, I couldn't able to show up yesterday. I went somewhere and it was a little bit late for me to come into the show. But I hope you guys had a wonderful Sunday. Make sure you smash the like button, freaking like that down vid, guys. Smash the like button, guys. So, guys, we'll be talking about Vinicius Junior racism talk in terms of that, so because it was racially abused by the Valencia fans a lot. And I keep telling people, La Liga will not do anything to it when it comes to racism because this is not the first time it's been happening. They haven't done anything to it for me. And also, we're going to talk congratulations to Newcastle United for making it to the Champions League for the very first time since 03, I think 03, 04. The last time they made it to the Champions League top four. So congratulations to Newcastle. Very good team and they are doing very well and they have the backing around them, which is gonna make them it's a very strong force coming into the UCL this season. Congratulations to Manchester City for the Premier League for winning the Premier League title. Massive congratulations to them winning the Premier League title 4-5 right now. And also we're gonna talk about Pochettino talk and everything, the in and out of Chelsea squad. We're also gonna talk about this Spalletti about to leave Napoli, as there's a rift between De Laurentiis and Spalletti because of the player recruitment and everything. We're going to take Spalletti. What next for Spalletti? Declan Rice to Chelsea to Arsenal. We're going to talk about him. According to the reporter, that Arsenal wants him as the number one priority. They're going to offer 90 million, which West Ham are demanding for 120. Will they go for 100 plus 20, 95 plus what? We'll see. We're also going to talk about Juventus talk because as they've deducted 10 points from their remaining matches, which put them back to 17th position, which take them straight to the Conference League. We're gonna talk about if you have time, we'll talk about musician and everything. But just make sure you like the video, smash that like button, smash that freaking like button, like that video, guys, like the video, smash the like button, get that freaking likes up, get that likes up, like that video, make sure you like that video, guys, like the video, smash the like button, get us up there, guys. 5K, 10K, 15K, 20K. We are getting there. Like that video, guys. My people, let's go. Yo, my people, on that didn't like the video, subscribe, smash the like button, guys. Smash that freaking like button, like that video, guys. Like the video, smash the like button, guys. Smash that freaking like button, like that video, guys. So, guys, we're gonna talk about Vinicius Junior racist abuse because this is not the first time it's happening in La Liga. And I keep telling people something will not be done, even if they give them partial stadium. I remember Lukaku being abused. They give them the partial stadium football content, and I'm like, someone is being racist abuse, calling so many names. You give them partial stadium. That one doesn't change anything. They need to have a strong verdict when it comes to racial abuse. And this is not the first time it's happening in La Liga. A lot of stuff has been happening in La Liga, from the hierarchies, from Tebas, the president of La Liga, to all of them, to the referees, to everything. This is not the first time it's happening. We're gonna talk about Vini. We'll talk about Manuel Ugarte from Sporting Lisbon, we have been very linked with in terms of getting him. We're going to talk about Newcastle, Champions League, Mancity, Poch, Spaletti to leave, Rise to Arsenal, Juventus talk. So, firstly, let's start with Vini for me. Because in EPL, they said no to racism. And I don't think in EPL there's as much racism as it is in La Liga, because La Liga is kind of woeful when it comes to racial abuse. So many players has been ah good morning to you, Nigerian Bullet. Good morning or good morning to you. So for me, Vini has been abused a lot. Not this is not the first time he's been abused, man. So this is not the first time he's been abused by so many La Liga fan base. So when this stuff happen in La Liga, it doesn't surprise me, because La Liga needs to do something about this stuff. When you are giving fans a stadium ban doesn't mean anything, because football will continue to be played. But I think some serious discussion needs to be made when it comes to the serious verdict, when it comes to punishment in terms of racial abuse, because this is one of the most very, very brutal conversations that need to be had in world football. A lot, because I remember then under Lampard too, I was racially abused by majority of Chelsea fan base when I called out Lampard. So I know how it feels in the body when you are racially abused by so many fan base. But this is not the first time. And my problem with La Liga is La Liga will not do anything about this stuff, because this will keep happening, and until for me the players come to, there's a solidarity when it comes to, we're gonna boycott the match. When that happens, we're not gonna play football anymore. Football stop. That's it. Final whistle, we're out of here. That's it. I think that should be the stand. If anybody is being socially abused, walk off the stadium. Tell the captain and the fans, I'm out here. I'm being abused. I'm out. Go. And I think if that keep happening, that stop the flow of the game. Now there's a problem, because now the referees have to look at themselves in the mirror. What the heck is going on? The person need to look at look themselves into the mirror. So many stuff needs to happen, because when racist stuff is being happen, some drastic situation needs to occur, which is kind of what can be done to rectify this stuff, because this stuff will keep happening if people doesn't fix this stuff. Nigeria Stable, can you turn off your mic, because so you can easily hear you? Turn off the video. Better to use. Better to use.
Okay.
Yeah. You can speak through audio. You can speak through the audio. Because when people are being abused a lot in social media, it's kind of very hectic. And I feel for Vini I feel for Vini and the players, because La Liga, like I said, La Liga won't do anything about it. And it's gonna be a repetition over repetition over repetition over repetition over repetition. And this will keep happening, because they won't do anything about it. And people keep asking the question, what is the solution? For me, it's hard, because the solution for me is point deduction. Because for me, that will hurt more when you're doing the point deduction, because when you deduct points from teams, maybe in top 4, top 3 European competition or relegation battle, when they talk like 20 points out of their position or 15 points, that's gonna hurt them more than stadium ban for me. Because if you're doing point deduction for me, that will hurt them more in terms of, okay, now we have to fix ourselves. And that also doesn't stop them using racial abuse, because this is not the first time it's happening in football. Now, how does the authority, the president, the chairman, how do they talk about it when it comes to that? Because if this keep happening, the players will have to do something in terms of, okay, game over, we're done. We don't want to play football anymore. Something has to be done, and this will keep happening if something drastic measure needs to occur. What I mean by that is something needs to happen when it comes to decision making from the higher up hierarchies, which I don't think La Liga will do. We've watched so many La Liga matches when we see Ronaldinho, those kind of players. Football is beautiful. Let's just play football without racial abuse. We might talk about EPL and that. Serie A is the same thing too. Lukaku was abused like a few months ago. Stadium banned. Nothing was done. Just stadium banned. Nothing. So I'm confused when it comes to this aspect of that. You can get abused, but something has to be done drastically. So Nigeria Bullet, what's your take about Vini being abused by La Liga? What needed to be done?
Me na Chelsea fans. So my team like this, it made me something. They make me my team too made me fall down. Well.
Yeah,
You sef, you know say Chelsea sef na people wey dey play Champions League,
I
and you
know.
know say if you no go Champions League, like you sef your body sef e no well for you, you no sure.
I
For
know.
Premier League, if for Premier League, for all dis dat Premier League, the team wey for Premier League wey dey looking Champions League well well na Chelsea. And you see Chelsea no make anything, and the thing dey vex me oh, e dey vex me for player, no be coach. If you say the owner no do well, una the player you must do the work good
But
because they
but
pay you.
but Nigeria Bullet, your take on the Vini being abused by the La Liga fan base, because this is not the first time this is happening in football, and this has to be eradicated ASAP for me though.
Okay.
Mhm.
I no dey watch like La Liga, or I no dey watch that La Liga. I no carry my head dey go La Liga.
Mm,
I no know anything about La Liga apart from about if you come about champion, my mind go go. But La Liga, I no carry my mind go for La Liga. So.
yeah, I get you, but the problem is this there has to be a drastic measure in terms of decision making has to be made, because if racism is affect is if yeah, I know we can't let go of racism because it will happen, but something has to be done when it comes to decision making with the higher up, because this happens in La Liga, it happens in Syria,
Okay.
it happens in Syria, and which for me, I'm like, okay, I understand it happens to Lukaku too in recent months where he was abused by Juventus fan base, and I'm like, okay, they only give them a partial stadium ban. I'm like, hold on a minute, this can't continue. The same thing is happening to Vinicius Junior now, which I'm like, something needs to be done in that aspect where it has to be eradicated.
Yeah.
And for me, if this keeps up happening, football will have to just stop. And people doesn't like this racist stuff for me. These people doesn't like, especially players who is born and kind of bred in a different way. There's a limitation to how you can absorb racial abuse by fan base. So
Yes.
right now, La Liga is just for me. It's just like it's a poetry. Why I call it poetry is because yes, it's difficult, but something needs to be done by the hierarchies. Which, if this thing doesn't, if there is no solution to this talk, it will keep happening where the players will have to be the one that will make the decision, not the ownership, nor the president, nor the hierarchies. The owners have to do, the players have to do something. For me, either they walk up the pitch and like after 20 minutes we're done, we don't play anymore. You can't get abused. People might say the referee can't do anything. The referee has the power to stop the matches and say it's game over. We can't play anymore. If a player is being abused, we have to do something about it. It is we have to do something about it.
Okay.
I'll be back. I'll be back.
Okay. 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 Wait for you.
So my people, I'm back, I'm back. Making another verse. I went upstairs to make some stuff, but I'm back. Like I was saying, relax. I'm back. Oh. So like I was saying, drastic situation needs to be measured when it comes to decision making. I'm back, guys. So for me, this is the problem now. This is the problem. Something needs to be done, and if this stuff keep happening, if this keep happening and keep occurring, nothing will be done. And like I said, La Liga will not do anything to it because it's not the first time racist stuff is being happened when it comes to player being racially abused. Vini has been abused. This is not the first time. This is not the second time. I believe this is not the third time this is happening. And I tell people, when a player is being racially abused, it takes a lot in their body to respond back because how do I put it? This is how I put it. When you are being racially abused by opposition, by opponent, or by fan base, it takes a lot in your body. I know sometimes performance might not be too, but I think certain fans target certain players to racially abuse them just for them to get something out of their brain or their mindset, which for me is not good enough because if players is, if a player is abused and is being racially abused, there's so much more he can take into his body because sometimes he has to react. Sometimes he might react positively and sometimes he might react negatively. And if the player react negatively to some of the racially abused stuff, it's gonna cause a lot of issue. And this is where I said the authority has to step in. That's number one for me because player has the power to say, okay, we are not playing football anymore. We are stopping it, which will cause an uproar in the hierarchy decision making because if player is not abused, see, when you are giving partial stadium ban, that doesn't work in football when it comes to racism because partial football stuff will not happen. When that keep happening, it won't work in football. So I think because people keep asking me this question, what is the best scenario? I think for me the best scenario for me is point deduction. Now, if you want to do a point deduction, how much point? 15 point, 10 point, 5 points? That's where the people, I think because if you are deducting point from a team that is being racially abused, that will hurt them more than stadium ban because if a team is pursuing an European competition, when it comes like, okay, I want to qualify for Europa League, Conference League or Champions League, and that same team, their fan base is abusing the player when it comes to races, you can deduct like 15 points or 20 points from them. It draws them back into like 8, 9 in the table, which for me can cause a lot of issues, which for me the ownership doesn't want, and the fan base doesn't want. I think that would be the best scenario for them to do because there is nothing that can be done. La Liga is quack when it comes to that because they won't respond to the level that people want them to respond. So I'm not surprised when this stuff keep happening. When it keep happening, I'm not surprised because it will keep happening. It will. And when this stuff happening, what else can people say? Nothing more. Let me read the chat. Big up to you, K-Man. Yeah, big up. SSB said, La Liga is just dumb, right? See, this is the problem. They are dumb right now, but what can be done? This is not the first time Vini has been abused. He's been abused for a very long time. He's been abused. And La Liga will not do anything because it's not the first time being happening. So it's a difficult situation for the La Liga hierarchies and the president to find a solution to it. SSB also said La Liga is struggling financially. This type of stuff is going to hurt the league. This turns people off. Yes, yeah, people will not watch it anymore. Exactly. They are losing financially, and when they keep losing financially, see, this is the problem now. People doesn't want to lose money, and when people are losing money, it affects them mentally and psychologically, and they don't want that to happen. They don't want that to happen. Exactly. And the line is Lazio had fans banned from stadium, but it doesn't change. Yes, that's what I'm saying. It happens to Lukaku, and it didn't change anything because they were giving them they give Juventus a stadium ban. What changes does it make? Nothing. It didn't make any changes because it will keep happening again. It will keep happening. No changes. Chioma, I'm back. Oh, I'm back. So, vote for it. I'm back. So, Exercise be like what you said. Stadium ban will not help anything. It will only cause for me. This stuff will keep happening. It will keep happening for me because if you are giving up what's called the fan base is stadium, but they'll be like even a stadium ban now will be fine. It will not help anything. And I think the best scenario for me is point deduction, which how much points? Maybe 15 points, 20 points, 10 points. We don't know. It depends because if you're gonna give them stadium ban will not help anything because this stuff will keep happening again. Where people are like a stadium ban will be fine. The stadium ban will be fine. But I think for me, if you do point deduction, that will castigate so many stuff when it comes to La Liga. La Liga is losing money. And when this keep happening, they will continue to lose money, which the entertainment fund, the entertainment about it will stop. People are coming to the Premier League now. Why? Because Premier League is the most watched league right now in world football. And it's the most sell product in world football now. People are selling Premier League a lot. And people are watching it because it's fun. People are watching Premier League more, for me, than any other league. Because they advertise their stuff very well. And this is what my problem is when it comes to La Liga. La Liga needs to do something about this stuff. And I'm not surprised nothing will be I'm not surprised nothing will be done because it's not the first time players has been abused. It's not the second time. It happens in Ligue 1, I know. It happens in Syria. Syria is even worse because they won't do anything about it. Now it's happening in La Liga. So this stuff, this stuff is gonna be like it's gonna keep occurring because I remember very well when I called out Lampard in the COVID era. Chelsea fan base had a go at me using racially abused word on me, calling me black monkey, black stuff. If I have to get pissed off there, we'll have to curse each other. But sometimes you have to be born differently in terms of your upbringing to soak some stuff in and understand the situation of things. So I understand that Vini is a Brazilian player. So there's a levels to how it can take racism into his body. Remember, it's just 22. And if this keep happening, it will just have to terminate his contract with Madrid and move away. And that doesn't help the La Liga. It does not. How can it be fixed? How exactly? I see. Eto went through the same thing too. Exactly. So how can it be fixed? Like I said, point deduction is the best way because if you do point deduction, you're gonna cut off their point, maybe 15 points, 20 points. That will help. For how long? I don't know. But it can start with point deduction, which is gonna hurt them a lot. That stadium, but stadium will not do anything for them. But I think point deduction will do something to their psychological brain because some team want to avoid the relegation, some team want to stay in the league, some team wants to get into Europa League, Conference League, and Champions League. So if you are taking out 15 points from their point, 20 points, you take them back to 7th, 8th in the table. How would they feel? I don't know. Exactly. I see. How will Mbappe? Yeah, Mbappe is a big fault because the problem now it happens in PSG a lot, especially the Ligue 1. It happens. Serie A. It happens a lot in Serie A. It also happens mostly happens in all leagues, but there's a level to how it happens. There's a levels to it. That's my problem with this stuff now. So, Kman, how you doing? Kman, how you doing, brother?
How are you, man? How are you, Abdullah?
I'm good. Your
Firstly,
take on Vini.
congratulations to the family.
Yeah, thank you.
We say salam to everyone. I hope it was a joyous occasion.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
joyful
man.
day.
How's your week
I
so far?
enjoy myself. I sleep good.
Mashallah, that's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's okay. Your take on Vini being abused by La Liga fan base?
Abdullah, the thing is, man.
Mm-hmm.
The truth about racism is a lot of people cannot. It's hard for people to understand it.
Mm-hmm.
It is
Mm-hmm.
okay, sure. A lot of people can condemn it and whatnot, but if you have not lived through it, it's very hard to explain
I
it
left
and
with
understand
it.
it to
Kman, I
someone
left
else. You
with it.
understand?
I was shattered, but I left it because I called out
We all
Lampard.
live through. Listen, if you have dark skin, Abdullah, if you have dark skin, you have lived through it.
I
And
know.
Abdullah, there's some things that happen in your life that
Mm-hmm.
you experience and live through it.
Mm-hmm.
Abdullah,
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. Go ahead. I'm here.
hello.
I'm here. I'm here. Go ahead. I'm here.
Okay, I said there's sometimes that when you live through these situations,
Mm-hmm.
even while it's happening, you're still confused. You're thinking, how is this?
Yeah.
How, is this seriously in my life? Is
Mm-hmm.
this what's actually happening? So
Yeah.
Abdullah, you know, firstly, before I talk about the issues, about the backlash,
Mm-hmm.
I have seen a lot of people try to put the blame on Vinicius Junior, and I take this situation as it is. Abdullah, God tells us to take every a bad thing happens to you, step back,
Mm-hmm.
look at it, say, okay, this thing has happened. What is the positive from this? You have burnt your foot. Okay, I will never step there ever again. So when I see how some people, I don't want to say names, but some very specific people
Mm-hmm.
who have said to blame, this the racist, Abdullah, there's racists who don't want to show their face.
Yeah, I know.
Let us not lie. This positive to Vinicius Junior, we can, Vinicius Junior is a very big player. Plays for Madrid. Every time he plays, everyone's watching him, right?
Yeah.
So I want you, Abdullah, I want to ask you, how do you think other black players in Liga who no one knows about, who plays for these small teams in relegation battle, imagine go through and no one talks about it.
But Kima, this is it now because people saying it will happen, but this is where I have to look at the hierarchy. Something needs to be done when it comes to um how do I put it? Drastic measure when it comes to decision making has to be made. What can be done
It's
for this
teams.
to be
Yeah,
eradicated? I said it, point deduction. That is better than
you
stadium
have to
band.
attack the
Stadium band will
teams.
not do
Abdullah,
anything.
not only point, financially attack them. Take cut finances, take points. Make sure, Abdullah, you know what you need to do is you have to make
Mhm.
sure the teams see what you do to this. Make an example out of them. So that whenever there is, because let's not act childish. Let's be honest here. We can
Mhm.
never get rid of racism, accept it or not.
Yeah, I know.
As long as you look different, racism will never disappear.
Yeah.
You understand? As long as you're
Mhm.
different, racism will never disappear.
Yeah.
So now, what happens when you normalize this kind of behavior and allow it to come into your stadiums? You have an entire stadium chanting monkey. What is this?
It- it's a tough situation right now when it comes to
Am I still here?
racism.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. I can hear you because Casey, I said,
Okay,
Kima, this
so
is me
okay.
now. Racism is a very broad topic when it comes to human being,
Hmm.
and now
Hmm.
footballers have been affected a lot by by racial abuse, and
Hmm.
people keep asking how can we find a solution? Like what you said, point deduction and then financially eat. But can that really stop? Yeah, that could be a first.
No,
That could be
it
first.
will not stop racism.
Mm-hmm,
Abdullahi, it will not stop racism. It will not
mm-hmm.
stop racism. It will do is it will make sure that teams will never allow this in the stadium. You can be racist at home. You can be racist in the street. Don't bring this in front of a player. What kind of nonsense is this? What kind of nonsense is this? An entire stadium to be chanting monkey? Abdullahi, it
It's
is
tough because
at one point,
because it happened to Romelu Lukaku.
uh,
Lukaku came out and voiced his opinion out. What did they do? Stadium ban
yeah,
and they move. I'm like, hold on a minute. The player's been abused in the pitch. You gave Lukaku a second yellow, a red card, and you give a stadium ban. That doesn't stop. It doesn't help anything. It doesn't because it will keep
it doesn't.
escalating.
It doesn't. It
It
doesn't.
does not help. It will
It doesn't.
escalate.
But
Now,
Abdullahi, football
mhm,
is a very Abdullahi, football is a very dirty game. It's a very dirty. The thing
mhm,
is, the truth is, let me tell you the truth. I've always known that these leagues like La Liga and Serie A and whatnot, there's a reason why the EPL is very popular. I'm not saying the EPL is perfect, but there's a reason why it's very popular. There's a reason why these leagues are not getting as much sponsorship deals. They're not getting as much money as the EPL. So what happens when that's happening? Revenue from stadium go for match going fans, buying the shirts and the merchandise, it becomes a big thing for the club. So how can you put the people who are paying almost half of your wages? How can they do that? You understand? They're afraid of ostracizing the fans. Fans start boycotting the league because they're in no position to lose anything. You understand? So when president, that idiotic idiot, come out and then publicly ostracize a player for being racially abused. How do you blame a victim for being attacked?
It's tough right now. It's tough.
How do you blame a victim? Abdullah, listen. I've seen people point the finger and say Vinicius Jr. is very arrogant. He's very provocative and whatnot. But does that give you right? Even if someone's annoying, does that give you right to attack his race, to attack his skin color? Something that he was born. Abdullah, did you choose to be a black man?
No, but
did you choose to be African?
I'm born in Africa, so relax. I'm born in Africa, but the problem is.
No, I'm asking you serious. I'm asking you seriously. Listen. If you're going against your opponent, right? If you're going against your opponent, and let's say you say, oh, I'm better than you, then he's supposed to come with something witty, say, no, I'm better than you. Something with some thinking, instead of picking such an obvious place, saying, you're black, you're Asian, you're this. That is just ridiculous. That is ridiculous. And this is not the first time. Do you remember that Atletico game? That dancing that him and Rodrigo was doing?
Yeah.
They were for him before the game even started, telling him, I dare you to dance. It is 2023 and we're still handling this type of issue. The other day, was it yesterday? I watched a video about Thierry Henry's Say No to Racism campaign back in the 2000s.
I think, Kima, your mic is a little breaking up.
Right?
Maybe you need to come out. Your mic is breaking up. You need to come out and come in. Let me read the chat.
No,
your mic is breaking up. It's coming up and coming out. Your mic is breaking up. So let me read the chat. IKIC said, a shout out to you, brother. How will Mbappe look at this? It's tough because it's a very broad topic. Serie A and La Liga. See, La Liga and Serie A and La Liga are very dumb when it comes to races, because, like I keep telling people, they will not do anything about this stuff. It won't be done. I can't recall the memorable amount of... I prefer not to respond. I do not want to go into that situation in America right now. Please, I don't. I can't say I haven't heard about this. I can't say I haven't heard about the comment in public. See, this is the problem now. How can it be fixed is where the problem is. Who is Valencia? It's not like they are back up. Valencia is like, it's in Barcelona.
Abdullah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, clear now.
Okay, sorry.
I'm reading the chat. I will bankrupt the racist club. The goal is not to stop racism, it's to stop racism in football.
Yeah, exactly. You cannot stop racism.
It's not the league, it is the country. Do you think it's the country?
Abdullah, let's be honest. This is happening in these countries.
SSB said, Abdullah, some online people were saying Vini provoking fans. What do you think of that? See, provoking fans has a different meaning. Play like Ronaldinho, Neymar. They play like a dream, but they can do flicks. Can provoke fans, they can provoke opposition. You kick them, but it doesn't stop them from playing their own standard football. It happens. Football is all about joy, happiness.
No, Abdullahi, that is part of the game.
It's part of the game.
Provoking fans is part of the game.
Exactly.
What happens at Anfield? What happens at Anfield? What happens there? When a player provokes the fans, do they start calling him monkey?
No, it kind of it even light them up a lot.
Anyone, Abdullah, I'll tell you, anyone who says this online, they have outed themselves as a racist. I'm sorry, I do not argue with anyone who says this. You're an idiot. I don't need to speak to you.
As he said, ESPN is partnership with La Liga. That's where the problem is. How would they look at this? It's annoying right now. It's very sick. The way La Liga is handling this racism, I see. I am confused.
No, that league is finished. That league is finished.
I feel sorry for Vini because this is not the first time. This is the third, close to the fourth time it's happening. So I'm not surprised with this stuff, man. I'm not surprised. Keyman talked about Atletico. What do you think Diego Simeone's and terrorism talk give fans a green light to do it? It's tough right now because
no. Abdullah, wait. Playing shithousery and playing these rough game, that is part of football. Getting to your opponent, that is a mental game. But that doesn't give you excuse to insult a player by his race. Sure, insult him, call him shit, call him you're a terrible footballer, tell him you need to go to China or something like that. But why insult his skin? Why insult his ethnicity?
This is the third. This is the 10th time. See, I see. It happens in La Liga. It happens in Serie A. And people keep asking me the same question when I saw the report. What can be done? I said two things: point deduction, sponsorship, money. Find them. You see those three stuff, especially point deduction. Team that want to stay in the league doesn't want to get relegated and go to the second division. Secondly, point deduction. If you are chasing a European trophy like Conference League, Europa League, and Champions League, you don't want to get your point deducted. That will hurt you because now you can move from third position to 8th or 9th. It does not make any sense. Sponsorship can withdraw themselves out by saying, "I'm out of here." If this thing cannot be solved, we're not going to sponsor you. When it comes to if you find them, how much are you going to find them? How much? 100K, 200? It's a little bit complicated when you look at the entire scenario when it comes to that.
They won't do anything.
It's point deduction. That is
they will not do anything. They will not do anything. Then let me tell you. Abdullah,
player has the power to just walk off the pitch.
Abdullah, no. Abdullah, no. Of course. But the biggest thing that's going to happen to La Liga, and I tell you, sponsorships will pull out one by one. That league is finished.
Mm-hmm.
That league is finished.
I agree.
This league is finished, man. Let's be honest. That league is finished.
Okay, let me read the chat. I remember Fatih getting abused few seasons about one.
Shout out AD, man. Shout out AD. What's up?
87. I heard this happen to Neymar a lot. It happens to Samuel Eto'o too. It happened to Eto'o too.
Huh?
I believe the argument against point deduction is that the player are not racist in some cases. Only the fans. Yeah, okay. SSB, this is my problem now. If you are doing stadium ban will not help because it will keep happening. That will not hurt them. Point deduction will hurt them more, and sponsorship will hurt them more because nobody want to lose money. Everybody want to gain money. Point deduction, nobody want to go to second division in table. Nobody want to do that.
No, but Abdullah, his argument is the players who are against this, the ones who are caught. I understand that. I really do understand that. So it is a bit confusing. It is a serious problem. It is a very serious problem. It's a very serious problem.
I know. Go ahead. How you doing to you? Assalamu alaikum to you, brother.
Wa alaikum salam. Big up to you, Abdullah. Big up to Keyman.
Big up. Give me your taste for delicious.
Vlahovic soon.
The last meet.
Bring that Serbian war criminal.
Vinicius Junior being racially abused by the La Liga fan. This is not the first, second, third time it's happening in La Liga. I don't know what to say anymore. When it comes to this situation, I am just confused right now.
It's actually the 10th time. The 10th time.
Gule, did you see his letter? Did you see Vini's statement? Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. No, but let's be completely honest, guys. Right? Like, this is why we like Abdullah's channel. And this is why people like to watch this show. Because we're really honest here. We don't hold back. We don't like politically correct answers. We speak from the heart. Right? We all know and all of us. I'm in England. I don't know if Kiman is in the Middle East. I think Abdullah is in America,
Yeah.
and all the other people
This is
watching.
what, sorry to cut you. This is what Vini said. He said on his Instagram with the following statement: each round away from home is an unpleasant surprise, and there were many seasons, death witches, angdol, many criminals scream all recorded. But the speech always fall into isolated cases as a fan. No, these are not isolated cases. These are continuous episodes spread across several cities in Spain and even television programs. The evidence is there in the video. Now I ask, how many of these cases had names and photos displayed on website? I answered to make it easier. Zero. None to tell a sad story or make those fake public apology. What is missing to criminalize these people and to punish the club sportingly? That's what we're saying. That's what we're saying right now, Vini. Why don't sponsor charge La Liga? Don't televise people to broadcast the barbarian team every weekend. The problem is very serious, and communication is no longer work. Not blaming me to justify criminal act either. You are not football. You are not human. I agree 100% to what Vini said here. That is what we're saying. ESPN is sponsoring La Liga. Pull out. Very simple. Pull out. Because they don't want to lose money. America does not want to lose money. They want to keep making money. You have
Do you
to.
guys, Abdullah, question. Do you think that this might lead to Super League? That this might increase Super League chances?
See, Keyman, it does not stop racism. It doesn't.
No,
The same
I
fans,
understand.
the same fans
but
in the Super League could be the
okay,
same fans chanting in La Liga.
you're right.
You know, so what I was going to say, Abdullah, right, and Kiman, the reason why, you know, we love football because football is our escape from reality. Let's be completely honest here. And the reason why it's our escape from reality is because in reality, division makes money. Put color aside. Division makes money. Look at countries, look at tribes, look at colors. If there is division, you can force a certain individuals to hate other individuals, and you can capitalize from it using money and resources. This is what's happening to our motherland in Africa. Same thing. Divide the people via tribes, divide them by a state, and then divide them by political agendas. And go to each one and pretend you're helping them, but eat from them and take from the poor. So division sells wherever we go, right? But let's be completely honest. With racism, it will never stop. Keyman's hit the nail on the head. And the reason why it will never stop is these kind of small situations where reality comes into our footballing life. Because always football have been different from reality. Unless it's very political in terms of racism or abuse or, you know, domestic violence or drug charges and so on. Mostly football is a different world in general. This is why people run to football, to escape their reality, day-to-day reality. But what Vini is doing is actually good. You have to even provoke them even more. Because Abdullah, if you really think about it, it's not only La Liga. Serie A are the same. They are both in the same boat. Serie A, we saw what happened with Lukaku, we saw what happened with Pogba and so on. Right?
Yeah.
These leagues are not the issue.
Don't forget Balotelli.
Yes. Yeah, obviously if you bring up the list, we'll be here until tomorrow, Kima. But I'm talking to people to refresh their memory about the recent events, right? If we really deep it, Abdullah, right, and if you really take this seriously, it's not the football, it's not La Liga's problem, it's the country's problem. Because I have a few Spanish friends, and I speak to them once in a while, and all of them say to me the same thing. There is a serious issue of racism in Spain in general. Why? Because Spain and Italy are the least integrated countries in Europe. I don't know if you remember when there was a refugee issue in Italy and refugees were coming by boat, right? We remember the protests that happened in Italy. Why?
What are you talking about protests? Shooting boats in the middle of the sea. Talking about protests. Making people drown in the middle of the sea.
Yes, but we have to take it step by step. We don't want to get too deep, right? We saw the protests, Kiman and Abdullah. Talk less of the violence, right? And even, I'll make it even deeper, Abdullah. This is how you know people are ignorant. You know, in England that I live in now, you know, when black people started coming to England, it was in the late 60s, right? Especially from the Caribbean and from Africa. They started integrating them in England. Do you know what English people used to say, Abdullah, to people? They used to call people, "Hey, monkeys, where's your tails?" Do you know how they stopped that nonsense? The queen who died actually had to get on television and tell the people that these are human beings. I mean, this is the kind of mentality we are dealing with here, right? And this, I'm talking about the 60s. So you know what that shows you? The people that are now going to football pitches, they are probably the sons or the grandsons of those people. But the mentality is in the family. It's not an individual thing. Because you know, when you're a child, you are born with nothing. You have no information in your brain. You don't even have a name self, right? But when you grow, whatever you see in your house, you normalize it. It becomes normal to you as a human being. So when they grow up and they're racist because their family were racist, they don't see it as something wrong. How would you question your parents' morals when this was what you was brought up with? So this is an internal issue in the countries, Abdullah. It will never change. England, they're trying to do the knee and so on, but that is just to keep the sponsors. Let's be completely honest. It's just to keep the sponsors and to keep the Premier League on top. But there is no actual tackling of issues that goes on in terms of racism.
Okay, Guled, now this is the question everybody keep asking when I saw the report. How can it be like, what are the drastical measures for you to, what are the first steps to take for this talk to a little bit calm down? And I keep telling people, point deduction, sponsorship, that will affect club more. And it will, you see, we make the president or the chairman come out on videos and speak to the fan. You have to stop this ASAP or else we're going to be in trouble together. Because the fan base will respect the president and the chairman speaking and will respect some of the players talking. That will also help because everybody want to make money. No team wants to go to second division. They want to qualify for Champions League, Europa League, and Conference League. And if point deduction is like 20 points, 15 points is happening to a team or to a club, it affects them psychologically and mentally as a club. And when sponsorship are saying we are pulling out, if you don't eradicate this stuff, we are pulling out, they won't make money. They will not make money.
Okay. Abdullah, let's be honest. The only way the people can, well, not even people, I would say the Football Federation have to tackle this, not even La Liga. You have to come from the FIFA president. What are you a president of? You are a FIFA president. You can change the law at any moment. You can take serious actions if needed. And that's exactly what he did with the issue that Qatar had with LGBTQ. You remember?
Yeah. I remember.
They told him
has to leave PSG to go to Everton.
And guess what, Abdullah? When Idrissa Gana Gueye was going through that, the president of FIFA didn't say anything about it. But when the World Cup happened and the LGBTQ issue was brought up, do you know what he said? He said that these people have their own rights. We are not in a position to tell people what's right and wrong. We are not here to teach them what's the right morals and what's the bad morals. If you can say that in that situation, then you can definitely do something about racism. FIFA should actually, yeah.
Guled, do you honestly think he did that for moral reasons or financial reasons?
Financial, 100%.
You see, then there's no point of arguing with these people anymore.
No. But look at this. They forced his hand, right? Yes. I know it's financial reasons, but they forced his hand. The way they forced his hand in that situation, his hand have to be forced in this situation. Because I remember when this happened in Britain, and regarding the Premier League, they questioned him about it. And what he said is we're gonna take the 3-step rule. And what is 3-step rule? It's all about awareness and using social media and making advertisements and so on. That is not enough.
Ugh.
Every time we
More
watch a
armband.
YouTube video, Keyman, every time we watch a YouTube video, there's a 10-second advertisement. Who bothers to watch it? Nobody. Who
Okay,
gives a damn? Nobody.
let me quickly read the chat because I think the people in the chat are making some good points. Like what Vote for Faith said. He said, okay, let me start from IC. IC said, let's not forget the racial abuse Rudiger faced at Chelsea. See, I remember. Yeah, I remember.
But Abdullah, in the Premier League, right?
Mhm.
Whenever a fan makes, like for example, recently that Crystal Palace game against Tottenham, that
Mhm.
fan who did that Asian Iceland thing, he
Mhm.
was seen on camera. He was caught.
Mhm.
When will La Liga ever do that? When will they look through footage and say, okay, this guy is guilty, this guy is guilty? And it is usually one out of very few. It exists, majority of it online, but when it comes to the stadium,
Mhm.
you try that shit. See if you ever enter the stadium again.
Yeah, fair enough. SSB said a Super League won't stop a Juventus or Atletico fans calling someone a racist. I said the same thing. Vote said pull out. You are expecting ESPN to depart from 100%, hundreds of millions of dollars. Not gonna happen. I don't know.
Not
I still said
completely pull out. Not
let me read the
completely
chat.
pull out.
ESPN
Not
will
completely
make more
pull out.
money. See, guys, do you agree? ESPN will make more
Yes,
money
they
promoting
already do.
La Liga. Do you guys agree?
They already do.
They already do, Abdullah.
Abdullah, when Messi and Ronaldo left that league, do you remember the viewership numbers, how they dropped?
I know.
No one cared about Classico anymore.
Interesting. I see. It might be a topic, but the problem now is USC and Peacock has already signed a deal until 2028 to sponsor the Premier League. I think they signed in America, yeah, according to the report I'm hearing, they signed close to 500 billion. Is it billion? If I'm not mistaken. Million to promote the Premier League until 2028. That is a live contract. Paramount Plus signed a 500 million to promote the Champions League, the Europa League, and the Conference League. Paramount Plus has already had it. So now, how does ESPN come in? I don't know, because Peacock and USA are taking up the Premier League. Paramount Plus is taking Serie A, Champions League, Europa League, and Conference League. I don't know how ESPN come into this situation. I don't know. Do you have to make the deal with the person? I don't know. It's difficult. IC said, if Vini leave, Benzema leave, why do America want to watch them? Racist isn't heritage, it's educated. But the problem is, I say the problem is, if you educate them, are they gonna listen? How will they listen?
It's 2023. Abdullah, everyone has a degree. Come on.
Will they listen? SSB
Yeah,
said,
but Keyman, do you actually believe in degrees? Degrees doesn't mean common sense,
No.
bro.
It's not about being qualified. It's about being educated. If you cannot
Yeah,
see,
but
and I don't know how to explain to someone
but
that as soon as
no,
you cut someone's skin, underneath that skin is the same meat, the same flesh, the same bones. I don't understand. I mean,
yeah, but Keyman,
Guled, I don't know. If I take you to hospital, can you tell apart the white blood, the black blood, and the Asian blood?
no,
Now,
you can't.
any educated person would realize that no, it man,
Education is overrated, man. Educated is brainwashing, bro. It's not education, bro. Let's be honest here, man.
No. Guled,
How many?
it's
Do you know
not
how
the
many?
systematic.
No. Do you know how many idiots I know with masters, bro?
No, it's not about Guled. Getting educated, it is for you to teach yourself. You get the tools necessary to learn more yourself. I've seen many people with degrees who don't know what the hell they're doing. What about
Yeah,
that?
but do you know how? But do you know how you learn? You know how you learn and understand life. It's through hardship.
Through hardship, yes.
These people never tasted hardship.
I mean, you're right.
So we are coming from a different world comparing to other people.
if this punishment happens, some fans will do it more. Players and fans is a two-way street. It goes both ways. Eventually, club are gonna need the fan revenue and money. I agree to that. SLB also said the fan stadium ban filled with Lazio in Serie A. I only think maybe sponsorship pulling out could change the situation. Do you guys think that sponsorship?
You have to, Abdullah, let me tell you, there's two ways you can deal with this. Either you attack them financially, the club itself, or you attack, who you target? In all these racist leagues. No. In all these racist leagues, I want you to notice there's always a problem. And this is something I hate in football. I hate football hooliganism. I hate it so much to a core. the only interaction football fans should have with each other is through banter, not hate and attacking. So go after these ultras, go after the leaders of these groups, ban them, start criminal cases with them, cut them off completely. These are the
When
idiots
you
that
heard
spread
when
this
you
kind
heard
of
their pocket,
nonsense.
when you heard their pocket, they start listening. Trust me.
Oh,
So
so
sponsorship, Abdullah, is very important because if the FIFA president or the UEFA president is serious, he will have to sit down with the La Liga board, the actual La Liga board and Serie A board, and tell them, listen, you have ultras in every club in your league, and these ultras are responsible for bringing the information or the ideas or thoughts of the fans to the club, right?
exactly.
So which means you do have a point of contact. So right now, I'm going to sit down as a UEFA president or as a FIFA president. I have to sit down with the Serie A and the La Liga presidents and tell them this has precautions not only on the club that are chanting this, but on the whole league. But nobody wants to have that serious conversation because everybody is sharing money. Everybody's pocket is getting heavier. The more nonsense, the more division, the more money. Why? Because now that we are talking about Vini, I guarantee you, it's only people that are colored or people that don't come from Europe understand this kind of conversation.
Mhm.
If it's people from Europe, they look at it as clicks, media hype. So the more they talk about us, the more the Twitter views are going to be more, the more YouTube views are going to get more. So it's still money.
No, Gullit. The only way for you to understand racism is if you have lived through it.
Yes.
It is very hard for you to explain this to someone who has never been discriminated against, because they'll look at you as if you're mad.
It's not that it's hard, Kima. It's not that it's hard. People are not humble enough to understand that they don't know nothing.
No, but
That's the
Gullit,
problem.
how can you be humble? Gullit. You know the thing is, if you have come from a struggling past, right, from well, a humble upbringing, you will understand
Mhm.
that life can be very difficult and that you are blessed in many ways. But for someone who's had his entire life on a silver platter, how will they ever be able to put themselves in someone else's shoes? Understand?
You know what that takes? That takes empathy. But empathy lacks in this world. Because look, even if I don't come from a poor or impoverished background, right?
Mhm.
At least I'm human enough to understand that everybody around me is human just like me.
But
That's simple. That's basic.
Gullit, wait,
That's
I'll tell you
basic.
something, right? I'll tell you something.
Mhm.
When you dig up an earthworm from the ground, you know these earthworms that come out when it rains.
Yes.
That creature is blind; it
Oh,
cannot
guys,
see, right?
Valencia just put out a report. Official
Uh,
statement from Valencia. Valencia FC will ban for life the fans who racially abused Vinicius Junior. The club,
so the whole stadium.
yeah, the club strongly condemned this behavior, which has no place in football and does not correspond to the value of Valencia and our fan base. Interesting.
So
In
the whole stadium. They're going to ban
yeah,
the whole stadium.
this is what Valencia put out. Let me show you let me show you the people. Interesting. This is what Valencia put out. This is the statement here. Interesting.
You know what that means, Abdullah?
Mm-hmm.
They knew that the next step is going to be that the pockets are going to get hurt. If you cut
No,
the
they've seen the
pipeline,
backlash.
everybody's going.
They've seen the
If you
backlash.
cut the yeah, but if you cut the pipeline of the water of a house, everybody's going to come outside. Oh.
Mhm.
This is exactly what happened. Because everybody's talking about this now. The news, the newspapers
Abdullah, look at the
tomorrow.
chats. Look at the chats, Abdullah.
Sure. Let me read the chat. It's tough, man. Chioma said, even donating blood we can give to it, including organs. Relax, Chioma, relax.
No, but it's true.
IC
It's true.
said,
She's not lying.
I will talk about this. You won't see this in American sports. I agree, though.
There's a reason why. Abdullah, there's a reason why. Because in American sports, the history of America and Europe is very different. Black people have been in America since its foundation. You understand? So these people, even though they have racist issues and whatnot, they are far more used to seeing blacks in sports. Some of them even want to only see blacks in sports. If they see someone white, they get angry.
Yeah,
So it's a
and
bit weird. Americans are weird.
we are all one human race. If it was not, we wouldn't be able to have this mixed race people. I agree.
You
I
tell
said,
Chioma, tell them to these idiots. Talk to those idiots, please.
I can't recall the time where LeBron James was racially abusing NBA. Question is, question to Abdul, how did England deal with the hooligan back in the days? It's tough, man.
They never dealt with it.
What are you
They
talking
never
about
dealt
back
with
in the
it.
day?
Many
Just in
people
2000s, they were handing out EDL propaganda, man. What?
many people doesn't know this, but Musa, a black African American midfielder that plays for Valencia. Don't worry, Tayo will talk about it when we have the time.
I wonder what they tell him after bad
Don't let the American
performance.
media see this. I don't know what to say, but I'm confused. I like the message that Vini has been putting out. I like when he said they should show the faces of people who are racially abusing people, not hide them and protect them. I agree. But vote. The problem is, the people doing the racially abused people, can they come out? Because when Lampard took over under Abramovich, I called out Lampard. I was abused by some people, calling me monkeys, calling me so many names. Chelsea fan base called me names. So it's complicated because when they come out and speak, I'm like, who want to speak in my face when you're racially abusing me? You want to come out in my face and tell me in my face? It does not make any sense. When I'm racially abused by Chelsea fan base, not even outsider, the fan base himself is abusing me when I call that Lampard as a legend of the club. There's no coming criticizing managers when he doesn't do well. So it's a complicated issue for me. It is.
And Abdullah, it's not only a European thing. It's all over the world, bro.
Exactly.
It's all over the world. I was watching a video today of a Turkish boy. He just finished university.
Well, don't
right?
even tell me about the Turks, man. Don't even tell me about the Turks, man.
No, wait a minute. Let me tell you. Let me tell Abdullah what happened. You know what he said, Abdullah? Because Turkey are helping Afghanistan refugees, Arab refugees from Palestine and Syria and so on. This guy came on national television. It's on YouTube. If you type Turkish boy racist, it will come up straight away. You know what this idiot said? To people that exactly look like him, not even black, talking about Afghanistan people, I'm talking about Arab people, because Turkish and Arab look alike somehow, same skin color. This guy said these people are animals. Why are animals in our country? If this is the level of intelligence that we have to deal with in the next 50 years, my Lord in heaven, Abdullah, Lord in heaven,
we are finished.
Somebody that look exactly like you, but lives in a different country. You're calling them animal.
Let me get the shot. I'll go to Abdul and go to.
Wait, Abdullah, on to Guled something, and I want you to be Abdullah. Just know that Guled, there is a small minority of Afro Turks in Turkey itself. I hope.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's actually stories of a guy going to a store. He's a Turk. He's an Afro Turk. He speaks fluent Turkish. He speaks in that dialect. He goes into the shop, speaking exactly like a local. Then they ask him, "How many years have you been here?" And in Turkey, what I learned is a lot of foreigners.
Guys, smash the like button, guys. Smash that like button. Like that bit, guys.
What I learned is a lot of foreigners, they get very emotional about one thing. They say, no matter how many years I'm here, no matter how well I speak this language, I'll always be a foreigner. You understand? Whenever you speak fluently, you know the culture, you've lived them, you maybe even married a woman there. You've lived there 30, 40 years. Whenever you speak, the first thing someone will tell you is, oh my God, your Turkish is so good.
So let me quickly read the chat. IC said, because they will run away with it. Run away with this. That's the teeth. There's racism everywhere. There is. Chairman, Oga Abdul. Quick, Vinicius Junior racially abused by La Liga fan base, especially the Valencia fans. Give me your take, brother. Abdul, give me your take.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, we can hear you. Your take on the Vinicius Junior.
All right. How is my mic and the volume?
Yeah, it's
good,
good.
Man.
Yeah, good.
It's fired up.
Okay.
Abdul is fantabulous today. Big up to you.
His boys have been insulted, man. His boys have been insulted.
Before Abdul used one microphone. You know, in the era of Azikiwe, Tafawa Balewa era, these are the microphone. But now Abdul has leveled up to the level of horse now in social media.
This is the terminology that Abdul should use. The resurrection. Abdul has resurrected.
Abdul, kudos.
No, because today is the first time I'm using my phone.
Oh,
I
okay.
Yeah, normally I use my laptop, and I've
Damn,
got
is it one of those Apple ones from from 2000?
Abdul, don't mind him. Your take on Vini Junior initially abuse on social media, especially by the Valencia fan.
To be honest, you see, that's the reason why, um, personally, I don't like politics, because people don't really understand politics. Politics is the interaction between human to human,
Mm-hmm.
and what that means is not necessarily even from one human being to another human being. You can even be playing politics with yourself without actually realizing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I've come to realize that this thing is very, very complicated, and it's not really. Sorry, why are you laughing?
Abdullah, I've got a question for you, Abdul. Sorry.
Oh dear.
No, these guys have to be educated, by the way. Motorola flip phone and Nokia doesn't have. No. But let's be honest. Motorola flip phone and Nokia doesn't even have internet, so
Leave them.
let's not even
Yeah,
go there.
There's
leave
no
them.
Motorola that has been recently nowadays that that's
Yeah,
Like,
no,
I just thought of Abdul in a corner with his Motorola talking.
Hello, Moto.
SSB. That's a low blow. That's a low
But
blow.
that's
SSB, that's ash. That's ash. No, no comment.
you
That's ash.
see, you see the reason why I say politics is very complicated. This guy actually this SSB just actually
Oh,
he
what
actually
those phone? We are finished. Abdullah's finished.
hold on, Abdullah, Abdullah, what is the first thing I said? I said that's why I don't like politics, because politics is more complicated than people
Mm-hmm.
No,
think.
but Abdul, after seeing this
No,
comment, you have to know that
it's my hold on. Good luck, hold on.
humans
I
are
said
complicated, not
no,
politics.
no. I said the politics of humans is very complicated. What did I get? Somebody threw discrimination on my face and said I'm using
Absolutely.
old phone. The guy just confirmed what I'm just saying now. You know what I
cellular,
mean?
cellular.
So do I need to explain any further?
No
I
comment.
rest my case.
Talk about the.
I rest my case. That's the word. That's the word you live
No,
in.
I
Somebody.
have to clip this. I'm going to clip this, man. This was a wonderful segment. Shout out SSV.
this is this is why this is why when I say I run away from politics, people don't really understand. It's not like I can't discuss politics, but it's so complicated. You don't even know where to start, and it never ends.
But Abdul, can I ask
If
you a question?
Go ahead, please. Yeah,
Think about it, right?
yeah.
Is politics complicated or are humans complicated?
That is what I said initially. That even you can be playing politics on yourself without realizing it.
Exactly.
That's the first thing I said.
It's true. It's true.
So it's not like politics. Uh, um, um, it's not only society politics that is politics. Politics happen within the family. Politics happen between the father and the mother. Happens between siblings. Happen between friends. All kinds. It's very complicated. That's why I'm not really interested.
Mm-hmm.
Because for me, I have a different view and understanding of these things, where it's difficult to educate people on it.
It
Okay,
is.
you always
It
see.
really is. Unless
Okay,
you're experiencing it, unless you live through it, it's very hard to explain.
no. But the thing is, okay. So let's go to the level we're talking about. We're
Mm-hmm.
talking about one of the biggest institution in the world, Real Madrid,
Yeah.
one of the biggest brand in the world, La Liga.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, these are environments where they should be setting examples and standard for the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is in the world stage. So now consider what is going to happen between me and my neighbor that nobody sees. You know what I mean? I remember like many years ago when I used to work in the call center. You know, in the call center those days, it used to be quite popular. But in a call center,
Yeah. I remember.
exactly. But nobody sees you in a call center. They just make a call and then you talk. You get this kind of things every day because you can't see them, they can't see you. You know, people make derogatory statements at you every day for one thing or the other. It's either you are not educated enough, or where are you based, or your English is funny, or something. You know what I mean? But that's even in a very restricted area, a secluded area where nobody sees.
That's
Now,
only audio.
exactly, that's what I'm saying. Now we move into a global space in 2023, and this thing is still thrown at people's face, and people are not setting example and setting the standard. You know what I mean? And this thing it has been going on forever. I remember listening to this Quentin Fortune, and he was saying one time when he was in Spanish league, the experiences he had, that even in the same team, they sort of like try and segregate you sometimes to use other, changing rooms because of what you look like. I don't know, maybe he was saying the truth or not, but I've had it in so many quarters with different players from that league. And unfortunately, you can always do. You see, the funny thing about politics is you can always do something about it, but people will not take an action until their interest is threatened. Then they will take action.
Yep.
Okay. If nobody's interest is threatened, so all that noise it will just be limited to social media.
Okay, Abdul, what can it? Because when I saw it, the first question people asked me is, what is the drastic measure that needed to be taken? And I said three things: point deduction, 2, sponsorship. That's number 2 for me, and 3, taking out, finding the club a huge sum of money, because America doesn't like losing money. So if you're looking at those 3 things in terms of, firstly, point deduction, if you're going to give point deduction, people that want to go qualify for Conference League, Europa League, and Champions League, they're going to be hurt because now their fan base is actually abusing opposition or players. That's number 1. Relegation threatened, they don't want to go back to second division. Now they don't want to lose money. Now you deduct point is a problem. Sponsorship will pull out. Pullman, Adidas, Nike will pull out. They're going to lose money. So what do? That's number 2. Number 3, if you find club and say, okay, fine club, I'm going to find you, there will be a serious jeopardy, because firstly, they will have to pay the fine. Secondly, they'll face the punishment of point deduction. Thirdly, sponsorship. How do they face those 3? Those 3 doesn't correlate. They won't work. Guys, smash the like button. So let me read cases, IC stuff. IC stuff said, dumb phones are back in style. So relax. No comments. Leave Abdul alone. I grew up in the most historical racist town in America. See,
Sorry,
IC.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. IC. Should I be sincere
Sorry.
with you? I don't like Texas, but I don't want to go too much on that. I prefer not to respond to that. The school district is one of the most diverse towns in the state. The only thing they do to promote no racism. IC said it is by educating the future generation. But the trouble African American had a lot. Yeah,
No,
there are levels to
you know what,
racism.
Abdullah, right? Because many because I used to, from a very young age, even when I was living in outside Europe, I always had friends for one reason or the other. I always had friends right from when I was a kid. I always had friends from other parts of the world. Okay, so if you go to like maybe when I was even like 7-year or 8-year-old kids, my friends that I was growing up with then were always from different parts of the world or different parts of the country where we're totally culturally different. Okay, so my own perception of a human being is always different.
Yes.
And from a very young age, I used to do seminars against racism and things like that, and and try to educate people.
Wait. You were introduced to racism at a young age?
No, I said at a very young age, I used to
Like around what age?
no. From a very young age, I used to advise people against racism
Oh, okay.
and things like that. Because I was exposed to diverse culture.
Yes, yeah.
And to me, I knew there was like nothing different. There was no big deal. Human beings are human beings because of how I grew up. But
Mhm.
unfortunately, it was only when I grew very old that I realized everybody did not grow up like that. Because I couldn't understand it. I just saw everybody as the same and the same human being.
Yeah.
But one thing I advise people one-on-one, that believe it or not, accept it or not, okay, what goes around comes around somehow. You will not, you might think, oh, such and such thing is not possible. Oh, this not gonna happen, whatever. Oh, I will never be, whatever. I tell you, even if it is 40 years, you will find yourself in a very unique situation. You will reflect and question some of your actions.
I agree.
Okay.
So let me quickly read the
Somehow
chat.
things go around. So how do
Tayo
we
said, shout out to Tayo said, Mexico almost got a ban due homophobic chants from the fans, but no one really cares about racism. You see? Smash the like button, guys. Smash. IC said, you need to push the content to educate the younger generation. I agree. He also said, you don't know, but Brazil and Spain government signed an agreement on racism last year. Let's see what's gonna happen. Interesting.
That's just pen and paper. Come on now. That's just pen. You know how many
Sure,
agreements?
racism is taught, but the question is, even if they educate people about racism, are they willing to learn? Will they learn? Will they listen? That's the scary part, because will they listen? Choma, I live in America. So when it comes to racist stuff, I know the way America talk when it comes to racism. But right now, it's even shaking right now, like, because countries like Brazil are being racially abused far more than American people. Because as a black people, America will have to go at you when it comes to that. But that can also be eradicated, because if you look at the schools now, they kind of eradicating it in schools. No racism, no this. But still, that doesn't mean it's not gonna happen. It will happen. You have to just stand up for yourself.
Abdullahi, wait, but in America and Europe is very different.
I know.
America is not historically.
The key, like I said, the key to the solution to this is three things: sponsorship, point deduction, and money being taken out of the club. That three things will hurt, because if you look at the sponsorship right now, Americans are taking over. And one thing about America is they do not like to lose money. If America
Abdullah, you take an American. Abdullah, every American has 10% black in them. Every American has 10% black.
I know, but America doesn't like losing money, because it gets into their brain, their mindset. So when they lose money, they get pissed off. So they did not want that to happen. How can that be eradicated? Point deduction, sponsorship, Adidas, Nike, Puma, pull out. Very simple. If those big names are pulling out of clubs, they lose money. Nobody's going to sponsor them.
Yes.
No one is sponsoring them. Like I said, ESPN will not take over Premier League because USA and Peacock already signed a contract until 2028 for close to $1 billion to sponsor EPL. Paramount Plus signed a contract until 2028 to sponsor Champions League, Europa League, Serie A, and the Conference League. That is for competition. They're not gonna pull out. How does ESPN take over? Nowhere. ESPN can come in because there is a negotiation tactic to this. America is taking over. So how will ESPN come in and take over USA and Peacock? I don't see that happen. I do not. So it's a complicated situation now where the hierarchies need to look at it and say, okay, we need to have a serious competition about this. It can't continue. Okay, me quick take before we go to the next topic. Vini being abused by Valencia family.
I think it's so sad. No, I think it's so sad that in 2023, we're still having this kind of situation in football. I think this is very
Hello.
Hey, Haley is golden. Haley is Abdul. Haley is everyone there. No, but I wrote a huge, lengthy stuff the WhatsApp, not WhatsApp, on the Twitter chats that we have, right? Until these teams are hugely, hit with penalties like, sorry, I'm outside, so it's a bit windy. Penalties like, point deduction, stadium bans for like 4 months. Imagine if it's a stadium like the Mestalla is banned for 4 whole months. You know, uh, when no games are played there, it will hurt the club so much that they'll put, see, the next game that they are going to play, they will announce and put cameras all around the stadium with audio. If they catch anybody, the person is out. The person is banned for life. They will start doing something about the racism people. The way they are so free in expressive racist slurs in Spain is crazy. Like, it's so. I'm hearing it's part of life there. It's actually. I've never been to Spain. I'm not ever going to go to Spain because, man, people like me are never going to be regarded as human beings there. So it's sad that Vinicius Junior, has gone through this so many times this season already. I can say probably 4 or 5 times already in this current season.
10
It's 10
times,
Doing
10
times,
times.
10 times, 10 times. They
10
have
times.
documented it. They documented it, and they
Shit.
have sent a complaint. They sent a complaint to La Liga. So this is not something that
10.
happened yesterday. That started today. It's not something that happened today.
Wow. Hey. Wow. So 10 times the guy has been hit. So at this point,
They had a rag doll. They had a rag doll hanged beside a bridge with Vini's jersey on it. How do you explain that?
oh my God. Are you serious? In what city is this? In Madrid?
I don't know, but it was an away game. Go to Vini's Twitter, and then you'll see the video. It's disgusting.
Yeah, if I was Vini, I'll start looking at other options for sure. Maybe definitely look at France or look at England. Yeah, because at least those cultures, the Saxons are doing better, than, because let me not lie to you, Vini can go any team he wants. He can say that's the team he wants to go to.
But
And if he can afford
Emmy, I
his
have a question
wages,
for
he
you.
will move.
Emmy, I have a question for you. But
Yeah.
what if all big name black players start to leave La Liga? Wouldn't the
La Liga
racists
is
win?
done.
No. Wouldn't the
No,
racists
no,
win
no,
though? They're
no,
getting
no, 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 no,
their pure league.
no. What is going to happen is this, right? Nobody will watch La Liga anymore, and that's
They
what's
don't
going.
care.
This is going to lead to.
Emmy,
They don't
they
care.
don't care
They
about
don't
people. They
care.
don't care. The fans, they don't care.
Ah,
This is a
I'm
boyhood
sure
club
they
for them.
care.
This is the village.
I'm sure
Not
they care.
the club will
I'm
care.
sure they
The
care.
club, but not the fans.
I'm sure they care because guess what? Every time foreign teams come to their home ground, they get battered because guess what? The same black players they hate come and batter them big time, and UEFA doesn't take shit. UEFA has zero tolerance for all this racist stuff because if you do it in a UEFA competition, your stadium is banned, boom, blacklisted, and that's it. You start playing your home game somewhere far away. If you ever qualify for Europe, so I won't see. Let me not lie to you. It will be almost impossible to eradicate racism from the culture in Spain and Italy and Eastern Europe. Those blocks, it's a way of life. Just like saying, "Oh, I'll go to Latin America. I'm going to eradicate racism." Man, it's not possible, bro.
In nations that have ties to Russia, that had ties to 1944. You understand me? It's very hard for them to move forward. These are the same
Yeah,
countries I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know how to explain. I don't know.
yeah. It's almost impossible for these countries to move away from racism. It's like telling them, hey, stop making jokes because to them, the butt of the jokes are always racist jokes, right? So,
Yes, yes.
and it's accepted, in those countries. Like I heard Suarez was shocked when he called, was he Evra? When he called Evra, Negrito, and Evra was upset. He was like, yeah, that's what you are. You understand? So, as in,
Man, fuck Suarez, man.
yeah,
I'm always shocked that people rate him. He's a dog, man. Look at
yeah,
that
and
dog.
then also the same thing with Cavani. I think Cavani
These
called
people.
someone Bono is monkey, right? Is it Bono or
Yeah, he's
Mono?
monkey. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mono,
monkey.
Mono is monkey, right? So it was like Mono. So guess what? In his mind, he said it's accepted, it's a joke where he comes from. Then he now starts going off with, oh, it's a cultural thing, where he comes from, it's okay to call blah blah blah. And to me, just but you're not in you're not in your village square. In your village square, you can call the people wherever you are there, you can call them mono. But if you're in the common ground, you have to accept the rules of the place. So to me, this Vinicius stuff, I hope it goes a long way to change how racism, because all those things they write on their shirts, say no to racism before the matches, say no to, that's all bullshit, man. It's all talk. There needs to now be, the leagues have to now say we are going to take the necessary steps, right? And those steps have to be implemented and applied strictly. They have to be, different magnitudes of punishments depending on how many times or where, the volume of, I think UEFA has, a current process where, the game can be stopped, after the first one. So after, they hear the racist chants the first time, the player or whoever is, is impacted, the black players can go to the official and complain. They complain, the announcer announces it that, hey, the guys, there has been some racial chants in the stadium. Please don't use those slots. If it continues, then the match officials can actually stop the game. And if the racial slot continues, the game will be abandoned, right? So there's a process in UEFA. Now all these other leagues have to adopt. They have to adopt this process, but they've chosen not to adopt it. Look at that retard Tebas. From Javier Tebas, the La Liga guy, saying, "Oh, we've told you to come over for eight times or 9 times. You've chosen not to appear. Blah 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 blah. What's that guy's racist? He's a racist for sure. From what he's just said, like he's enabling those guys. How can that guy be the head of La Liga? He should resign immediately."
Emmy, let's take it even deeper. Do you remember 2008 Euros when Spain won it? 2008, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
They had a coach. Spain had a coach. I forgot his name. Something Aragas or something like that. I forgot his name.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Where
yeah.
he told Reyes.
What
he told Reyes was he told Reyes.
Is it Aragones?
Aragones, yeah. Aragones, yeah. That's it.
Aragones.
You remember what he told Reyes about Henry? He said you're 10 times better than Monkey, man.
No, I think it was that black shit, I think.
This is the nonsense, though. And let's be honest, Emmy, this is bigger than football.
It's
That's why.
bigger.
This is big. This is
That's why I
bigger.
keep saying. That's why I keep saying this is a cultural issue. It's not easy to just change people's, the way people have been addressing, people of color for so long. This has been going on for centuries, right? And all of a sudden, you just want to tell them, hey, you need to stop. You need to tell them, like, hey, if you do this again, this stadium is going to be closed for 5 months. Right?
You know what, Emmy, right?
If you do this again, your club is going to be docked 15 points. When you start doing those kind of sanctions, now they will now be like, okay, we don't want to see our team in Division 2 because 15 points is almost impossible to recover from. That means you have to get 40 plus 15. You have to get at least 55 points to just stay in the league. You understand?
No.
That tells, in a 20 team league, right? Because 40 points takes you to recover, right? So,
but Emmy, don't you think that will be affecting the players more than the fans?
Oh, whatever. Then the players, it will affect the club. The club will now have to take this time because when it affects the players,
a lot of these players will find themselves jobless.
Oh, good.
And most of these guys are innocent.
But something has to give. It's not going to be.
You're right.
Something has to give.
It's a very difficult thing, man. It's a very difficult thing.
Yeah. You can't consider everybody in the law. You just have to say, okay, for this thing to stop, we have to take some painful measures. And those painful measures are things that will affect the club and the club's ability to actually, And once that starts to happen, things will shape up. See, you'll be shocked. You will never see a racist person in the stadium anymore. all those things will stop. Yeah. So I just feel like, something has to be strictly done to reduce all these things. So I think I just feel so. Or else there's nothing you want to do. These guys are going to always come around. So they're going to stay quiet for like the next few games. Next season, when the season starts, boom, they're going to start again. The worst set of fans is Eastern Europe. The worst set of fans.
Yeah, it's really bad there. It's really bad there.
Oh,
You know what's funny, Amy? You know what's funny, Amy? Spain, Italy, and Eastern Europe, especially the northeast of Eastern Europe. You're talking about Bulgaria, Hungary, and so on.
Romania, Hungary.
Yeah, Hungary, Moldova, and those people.
Moldova,
Those countries are the least integrated countries in the world.
Yes.
And these people have the audacity to talk to us about one world and happy family, and they're fighting for rights here and there. No, let's be serious. These are the same people.
I've never been to those stadia in Eastern Europe. I'm sure someone like you, Golan, you probably traveled there with Chelsea, maybe. But if you notice, those guys don't even qualify for Champions League. People from that side of Europe, right? Eastern, only maybe Russian teams, Ukrainian teams, right?
Yeah.
But when we talk about the Northeast block, that Northeast block they're so poor.
There's a reason why they're not given slots.
They are so poor. Oh, is that the reason why they're not giving slots?
Come on, Emmy, really? You think Ronaldo and these guys are going to be going to fucking Baku to get? Come on now, guys. Have you forgotten that Mkhitaryan was going to be killed in that final?
Oh,
no,
yeah,
that's sad.
True. Oh,
J2S, big up to you, man. J2S, I see you. Big up.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's very, very
true.
Shit,
J2S, what's up, man? First time seeing you.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
What do you think about this situation? What do you think? Okay, no problem.
One of you go.
No, go on. What do you want to say?
No, someone's asked me a question.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, what do you think about the situation regarding Vini
Yes,
and the racism?
It's what you call it? It's another incident add-on. Like how many incidents we have every week or every year, just in every single league as well. It's not something you want to see, because you want to talk about the football match, because the actual football match they were playing, the Real Madrid Valencia, was actually a good match, but it's this incident that's masked over everything, and it's just brought attention to a nasty incident that's happened. So yeah, I mean, you got to stand with Vini Jr. in all this, because he's telling the referee, and so like, this is what that person said to me. You can see I think he was crying on the pitch, wasn't he?
Yeah, he cried. Yeah,
he was crying on the pitch, and I'm pretty sure he didn't want to play anymore, because you're getting that kind of abuse. Well, why should you play? All the players should just left the pitch, and was it the Valencia fans? All that La Liga should do like a stadium ban, so no home fans for us to see is that kind of stuff, because these little fines that you give out, it's not enough for punishment.
It's true. But do you think this is going to be a move just to cover this season, or do you think there's going to be bigger punishments next season?
I mean, this has to UEFA has to step in as well, because this isn't just like a La Liga problem. We have it in the French league, we have it in Serie A, because look at what Lazio do. You've got it in the Premier League here and there as well. So there has to be a big step, like overall. So, and UEFA has to lead this, because they're the governing body for the whole of European football. So yeah.
Yes. And they're doing nothing about it.
Yeah,
all they say to you is the three-step move.
Yeah, they care more about like the what's it called, the money aspect. Like look at Ivan Toney. We saw that incident was sort of like within space of a few months, but these racing things that we've had even in international football, like the Hungary incident, where they banned the stadium for a couple of games. That's it. That's not enough.
No, but guys, you honestly expect a board full of old white men to be able to understand racial issues?
They're not going to care. They care about the amount of money that goes into the back pocket.
They don't really care.
man. This is why we didn't say we want them to understand, but something have to happen to hurt their pockets.
Yeah. You're right.
Because there is a
Because-
saying they used to say, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. We know they're too old to understand this, but something have to be done regarding sponsorship, regarding point deduction, and regarding any sort of expansion that the La Liga or Serie A wants to take in terms of moving to America for their tours. Like I'm talking about preseason tours and all the fans they have there and so on. Something have to hurt them big for them to understand.
Yeah, because you're
Otherwise,
right. Like,
nothing will change.
the only way they'll actually listen is if it hurts their own pocket, because then they're like, oh wait, well, my money is going, all that kind of stuff. It's hurting the image of the brand and the league. Then they'll listen because it's affecting their own pockets.
Yeah, but J2S, it's sad, man. It's very sad that you have to get to that level for simple common sense to kick in. I mean, it's sad. It's very sad.
It's not a very fair world that people live in, where this kind of stuff has to be forced.
Unbelievable.
Hey man, we don't live in Kumbaya world, man. You know when you're growing up, the cartoon like them cartoons you'd see holding hands and dancing around and whatnot. Nah, that's not how it is. That's not how it is.
Yeah, and they were also saying that like it was a minority in the stadium. It was like a full stand of them saying the.
Did you guys see the clips from fans in the stands taking videos?
Yes.
Yeah.
So basically, when Valencia,
that's my argument. How do you ban an entire stadium for life? How do you do that?
Thank you.
How do you do that?
And how can you come up with a statement saying that we're going to ban the fans they were chanting? Why are you making it sound like it was just a handful of fans?
It's damage control. That's what it is. They don't care. They don't honestly care.
See, the thing you would have to do is do a stadium ban for like a certain amount of games for like. If people did like Valencia can't have any home fans or any home games next season, that would cause something. That would kick up a fuss and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but do you think they would take that step knowing that La Liga is already on their knees in terms of financial?
You got their own president saying, Vini hasn't come to these meetings and stuff, so that says all you need to.
Yeah. You know, J2S, like you just said that's for the image for to save the image of their league. But how do you save your league when Serie A and La Liga you already have issues with financial doping and whatnot on top of these racial issues, and then on top of your own presidents coming and making yourself sound like clowns? How do you save your image? What image is there to save?
President? No. For you to come up with this kind of statement, how did you even get to that position in the first place?
Yeah, like
how? Think about it.
Yeah, like even the Valencia spokesman yesterday was saying that Vini Jr. should apologize. And everyone's like,
apologize for what?
He's apologizing because the incident your fans caused. He's just replying to them. Any like rational person, if they're getting that kind of hatred from not a couple of individuals in the stadium, like a full crowd, and it's ringing around everywhere. Of course, the players are going to react. They're human. They're going to react.
No. You know, J2S. I've told these guys, and I say, in football, the only interactions fans should have with the players is through banter. Yeah, sure, call the players shit if you want, like banter them. But when you insult them through race, that's a low blow. That's not smart. That's not witty. That's just stupid.
There's a certain line you don't cross.
Valencia had their own black players that were on the pitch as well.
That's good. Now I ask you, if these black players were to score their own goal and cost them promotion or cost them relegation, what would happen to these guys? And they're not known players. These are unknown guys. So what would happen to them?
They get lynched.
This is why I told you it's deeper. It's deeper than that, because if I look at this, right? If I'm a racist fan and I'm chanting racist chants to my opposition, and I have the same players that look like my opposition that I'm chanting racist chants to, exactly the same color, exactly, black players in my team, but when I look at them, I say, oh no, they're different, and these are our players. This shows you how sick people are. Like, you can't sit down with this kind of people and reason.
No.
So the only way
guys, I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you a story. There was a time, this Liberian friend of mine, right? He was telling me we were in the same city, Then he said, "Oh, the locals here one time while he was here. He stayed in the city for like 2 years." He said, "Oh, I was having dinner with one of the locals." Then he was trying to ask them about the racial tensions and what they think about whatnot, right? He said, "Oh no, we don't have any issues." He said, "Okay, what would you think if your daughter were to marry someone maybe of my race?" The guy looked. He said, he looked. He said, "Nah, I can't have that." So when you have people who think that way, it's very hard to understand where they come from. You know, it's something that I cannot explain. I really cannot explain. I cannot explain.
That's sad.
These
Sad.
guys, they'll go back to their shops the next day, and then they'll go again.
No, it's sad, man. It's very sad.
Yeah,
It's a generational thing as well.
Yeah, do you think it's like in racism in Spain and Italy is necessarily like through ignorance because they're not exposed. They're not exposed to this kind of stuff. Like they're not integrated in society.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. There is no integration in those countries.
Yeah, like,
and you know what's funny? If there's any, like, I don't even want to bring this as an example, but it's the truth, right? If we talk about other cases or other situations, like let's say for example, you know, the alphabet community and so on, everybody become one arm, even though they're not integrated. But when it comes to racial issues, it's like, okay, let me live with my own morals and my own ethics, which are completely wrong. Let me live this way. But if the world needs me to put on a shirt and say everyone's equal, I'll do it just to fill up my pockets.
Yeah, because we saw that here with all the. Remember when we had COVID and they put all the stuff on the kits like Black Lives Matter, NHS, that kind of stuff. It's just a little or the whole say no to racism by UEFA every season we see.
Yeah, that's what they always say. If you want to know where the true issues lie, always follow the money. If you follow the money, you'll understand where all the nonsense is, and all the corruption is, and all the the politically incorrect nonsense is happening. So the only way you can actually tackle it is to tackle their pockets. Otherwise, nothing will be done. I mean, guys, for God's sake, AI is going to take over the world the next 5-6 years, and we're still talking about racism like it's 1900.
Good. I take this opportunity to say I welcome my AI overlord Skynet. I love you.
You're shameless.
Accept the inevitable, guys. Just accept it.
That's shameless, man.
Hey, no, man. I'm trying to get a good Guled. I want to be the guy that supervises the T9000s. You know that?
No, fair enough. But look, but look at what you just said, Key man. That's actually a good point, because look at where the world has evolved, and we're still talking about things that were happening in the 1900s. So nothing actually evolved. Everybody just became more smart in hiding it. That's all it is.
Yeah.
That's it. Everybody knows how to be politically correct now. So that's all it is. The world never changed.
It's the private viewing compared to the public viewing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you can say, like people can tweet, "Oh, we stand with this, we stand with that," but privately they'll be completely different.
Yep. When push comes to shove, you will know straight away. And I'm glad that Vini actually provoked them even more, because if he kept quiet, I guarantee you the situation would never even been televised.
Guled, the guy has been quiet for how many years has he been in La Liga now? 3 years?
Yeah, but he never been quiet.
No. At the beginning, he was quiet. Recently, a lot of people started complaining about Vinicius shouting at refs.
No.
Now,
look,
when you have so much pent up
bro.
crap, come on, guys. Let's not forget.
The big thing kicked off this year.
Bro.
Yeah, go ahead, Shane. Go ahead.
I said the big thing kicked off this year because you remember the Atletico Madrid derby.
Yeah. We were talking about
that. Bailar, the dancing stuff. That's when it all kicked off.
No, it was even before the match. They told them, "We dare you to dance. We dare you."
Exactly.
And if he didn't provoke them, we wouldn't be in this situation right now, and nobody would be talking about it. It would be water under the bridge, and everybody would go on with their life. So you have to actually take extreme measures if you want to see changes. Because think about it, we're looking at him only when he's on the pitch and the cameras are on. This guy have to live in that country for God's sake. You don't think he's going to get racially abused when he goes out? If it's normalized in the society? We don't know what he goes through day to day. We're looking at him as a mega star, fair enough, but he's still a human being. You have to go shopping, you have to interact with people, you have to live in that country, you have to acclimatize, which he's been doing. Maybe it's not his first time, maybe he's fed up. Everywhere he goes, somebody's saying something. Who knows?
Well, I know apparently he's staying there because of he signed a contract till, was it 2027?
Yeah, but I think he will
Boy,
seriously.
see if this continues, if they don't put a lead on it, someone buy that contract. I don't think Vini's a superstar. He's a world superstar, probably top 3 current.
Yeah, I think this is going to push more of a war because Florentino Perez is going to go to war with La Liga.
Yes, because he's going to be like, geez, I've done my best to bring the best entertainment to this country through Real Madrid. I've brought the best. I brought the best talent here, from Camavinga to Rodrigo to Vini, to Tchouameni. All those kids are black, right? And then you guys are pretty much chasing them away. What do you guys want us to do?
Emmy, let's be honest, right? If it wasn't for Real winning the Champions League and getting as far as they did, who would be paying attention to La Liga? Let's be honest.
That's very true, because to be very honest, nobody watches La Liga. I don't watch La Liga. I watch Serie A because Serie A is competitive and I think I enjoy the football there. But La Liga is so boring, man. I sleep every time I try.
Yeah,
I sleep, bro. It's
I only
so
click into the
boring.
big games.
Yeah, I only watch the highlights when, oh, this game of this Getafe versus Valencia was very interesting. Or, Valladolid versus, versus one other team, was Sevilla, was very good, But I hardly will say, oh, you know what, this Sunday afternoon, I want to watch La Liga. I don't.
You also got to be thinking
there's nobody to watch, actually.
Yep.
You also got to be thinking what Jude Bellingham's going to be thinking as well, because he's like to make a move
Oh,
for
yeah,
Madrid, and he's seeing this.
I completely forgot about Jude Bellingham. Oh, shit.
Yeah. See, that's
Wait.
So that's
So
the
J2,
that's the sixth.
you're telling me next
next-gen
season we're going to be
superstar.
having Camavinga, Tchouameni, and Jude Bellingham,
Yeah, and then
Rodrigo,
you can have
and
Rodrigo,
Vini.
and you're going to have Vini on
Wow.
the wings.
Yeah, people are going to start saying Madrid is now a black team. Yeah, you hear that? Yeah.
Don't forget the defense as well, because got Militao, Rudiger, Alaba.
Rudiger. Oh, not good.
Mendy.
Not good.
Ferland Mendy.
Not good.
Yeah, exactly.
So guess what? In the starting 11 of Real Madrid, you have only 3 white people. Come on. Are you serious?
Hey.
That's going to be
four.
No, they
Four,
got
including the keeper.
3.
You're gonna have the whole line's gonna
include the
be
keeper.
their front line will be Vini, Endrick, and Rodrigo.
Endrick.
Their front 6 will be
Wow.
black. Think what the fans gonna be like everywhere they go now, especially when they go to away games.
Perez have the audacity.
I'm sure.
Perez
I'm sure
actually
they're
have the
already
audacity. And
Yeah,
Perez actually have the audacity to go for Mbappe on top of that.
Oh,
No.
Just
Mbappe
imagine.
will be on
Guys,
fire.
Just
I
imagine.
can tell you next season they're going to, like, away fans are going to start calling them Real Mozambique. You just watch.
Or something. Yeah, they're going to call them
You just
something.
watch.
Yeah.
They're calling Real Mozambique. They're going to some fucked up name. You just watch.
No,
Or
they're gonna.
Real Monos. Real
Yeah,
Monos.
they're gonna call them.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Real
exactly gonna
Monos,
say mono.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real Monos. Yeah. Oh, you don't know
These
Real
people are-
Monos?
That's fucked up.
These people are shameless, man.
Okay. Anyway,
You know what, yeah,
let's move on to the next. Okay, sorry. You have to say
Oh, Emmy, let me just say
Abdullah is
one
okay.
thing,
I
right?
don't know what Abdullah wants.
Yeah,
He's fixing his
mic.
network. He's fixing his network. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me just say this, and then we can close and talk
Oh,
about
wait.
something.
Real is forgetting Alfonso Davis?
Who?
Oh, they want to go for Alfonso Davies? Yeah, on the left back. Yeah, that's true. Because they're looking for a
Yeah,
left
true,
back.
Put Mignon in goal as well.
Oh,
Hey,
Mignan. Oh man, that's a Monos team right there. Monos right there. Ooh.
Goodness gracious, man.
Ooh.
You know what? Yeah, I
they'll
don't
call
know.
them the Galactico Monos, man. Galactico
No,
Monos.
you know,
Chai.
you guys, Emmy, instead of calling them Los Blancos, they're going to be called Los Immigrantes.
Che. Shit.
Keyman, how could you laugh at your own people, man? That's
No,
shameless.
it's so fucked up. You have to laugh. It's
This
so
guy.
fucked up. It's so
Yeah.
fucked up.
I know, no, I'm joking with you. I'm joking with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was gonna
these
say
guys are
this in
shameless.
closing, right? I was gonna say this in closing. You know, when I was young, right? I used to always worry and ask, like, you know, when you have like teaching Islamic studies and like
Mm-hmm.
you're learning about religion and so on. I used to
Mm-hmm.
always ask myself, because you know, most of the prophets or the messengers, they
Mm-hmm.
came in the form of shepherds. And I
Yes.
used to always ask myself, why did they come in the form of shepherds? Now I
Mhm.
understand why. Because these people are sheep. I thought it
Yes.
was actual sheep. No, it's the people. It's the people, bro. People are sheep. One will start shouting something, the other one will follow him without even thinking about it. It is sheep. So let's move on.
Yeah.
Hold on,
Let's talk about
this
let's
stuff
talk
is getting
about
real fucked up.
yeah. Have we talked about Manchester City winning the title?
Oh, yeah, I think that's next. Wait, no. I think next is Ugarte. No, but we don't want to talk about Ugarte. Let's talk about Man City. Yeah. Let's talk about City. Let's talk about City.
Yeah, because Man City has won the title, right?
Yes.
It's done and dusted. I think
Where's
there's
Overcall? Where's
all
Overcall?
the and they did it with 2 games to spare or 3 games to spare actually 3 games to spare
Yeah.
because before they even kicked the ball that was 35 games. They only
Yeah.
needed 35 games. I think they won 28, drew 4, drew 4, lost 3 or so, or lost 2 thereabout. But they have actually turned this league to a farmers league, man. This
Yeah.
is unprecedented. Five league wins in 6 years,
No,
3 in a
Emmy,
row.
relax. Emmy, relax. Don't worry. 115 charges will come and save us. Don't worry. Just pray.
I don't know who is going to, because like we said the other day, right? To beat Man City to the league, a team has to win 30 matches from 38, which is almost impossible with
It
any
is
team
crazy.
currently in the Premier League. Yeah, you can't. I can't beat my chest and say there's a team in the Premier League right now that I can say next season they'll win 30 out of 38. It's not possible,
Emmy,
right?
do you know how bad it is? You have to completely focus on the league. Okay, you have to completely
Yes,
focus on the league. That's what's
yes,
crazy about it.
yeah. Now they're about to win a treble because I believe they'll beat Man U next weekend. Not this weekend,
Oh,
next
yeah,
one.
okay, yeah.
See, Inter needs to save football, man. Inter needs to save football because if these guys get a treble, woo,
Hey,
woo,
oh,
it's
Emmy,
over.
where
It's
can I immigrate to?
over.
Spain is racist. Syria is racist. Where can I go?
Oh,
I
you
just
probably
support a
start
local club.
watching.
I think I'm just gonna rep a local club.
Yeah, let's look for a local club in your area, just down the streets, and just find a jersey and buy. Because
Emmy,
Man
these
City is
guys
about
can't
to
put
wreck.
5 passes
They're about
together
to
though.
wreck. They are about to wreck. They're about to wreck the English pyramid, man. Because if Man City
Wow.
wins the league, because next season Man City is winning the league next season. I hope we all know that, right? They're winning the league next season. The next season after that, and that's 5 in a row. Now, in the history of the Premier League, no team has won 5 in a row. These guys
It's
will
Yeah.
do
true.
it.
It's true.
Yeah,
It's
these
true.
guys will do 5 in a row.
No,
And
but Emmy, you see, with Pep, right? I actually,
Mm.
you know him in terms of football. We don't like him, but if I'll be very realistic, right?
Oh wow, J2S.
Pep,
Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay.
yeah, that's come on, J2S. Come on,
No,
J2S.
okay, I'm gonna
They,
stop
they,
this
they,
trouble at all
they, they,
costs.
they're gonna pull their pants down, man. Come on, man. You know that, man.
This is
You know that,
I tell you guys
J2S.
the scary thing. Guled, I tell you what's scary. As soon as City
Yeah.
crack this first CL title, it's over for Europe and the Prem.
Yes,
It's over.
yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yes,
because
because they're gonna push to win every year. Yeah.
let's put our hate for Pep aside, right? Like, let's talk about football, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
If you look at football, bro, Pep is actually our hero, and I'll tell you why. The reason why I'll tell you, Kim, I'll tell you. The reason why we actually football, why we love the game, is because of 2 reasons. Firstly, it's because of the skill aspect of it,
Mm-hmm.
right? The second one is the technical aspect of it, and how it's like a chess match instead of just football. Everyone on the pitch is like a chess piece, right? If football stayed the way it was before, with all the the counter attack, the complete defending, and then counter attack that Mourinho used to do, or with back in the day how we used to be with the police ball, with Syria, like the long ball, and
No,
then
no, no,
cross and
no.
inshallah.
Syria never played that kind of football though. In
No,
Syria,
no, but
back in the
I'm talking
days,
about
that's in the
No,
90s, right?
I remember Leicester, man.
yeah, yeah,
Leicester
yeah.
was
I'm
good at
talking
that
about the
shit. Leicester
calcio.
was good at
When
that
you
shit.
remember the calcio, Emmy. I'm talking about 97, 98 is when the football started evolving. But in the mid 2000s, I'm talking about 2000 to 2004, when the quality
Mm.
started going down. It was more like tall players, very physical players. This is why Cannavaro was praised, because every cross he was able to deal with it,
But
which
Cannavaro
means
was
there was
short
more.
though. He was not tall.
Yeah, yeah, but he was still dealing with crosses. He made his name because he was even though he was short, he was able to deal with crosses. So what I mean is, like, you see how the type of football that we used to watch, which was
Mm.
more like physical, bullying kind of thing, and more like defensively
Football is
stuff.
still physical though. It's still physical.
No, no, no. What I mean
It's
is,
just
like,
like players are faster, more athletic now compared
yes,
to back in the days, right?
they're athletic now, but what Pep did is Pep actually took the players that nobody thought. Like, when we were in school, right? And we used to play
Mm.
football. Do you remember there was always a player that used to get bullied on the pitch? He was skillful,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
but he was
The
not physical.
ballerina players. The ballerina players.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He was very skillful, but he was not physical,
Yeah, yeah, he was
right?
always short,
And
just like Bernardo
yeah,
Silva, right?
thank
Bernardo
you.
Silva
And
wouldn't have
Gundogan,
made it. Oh, but Bernardo,
and,
but
and
let's
Gundogan
think
as well.
about it.
Mhm.
Let me say this good, right? There were players like that back in the. You remember this guy called Pablo Aimar or
Yeah, I
Teta?
remember him, the Argentinian one.
Even Romario was small. Romario was short,
Yeah,
and he was leading
yeah,
the line for boy. It was under Johan Cruyff, right?
yes,
Romario was their striker when they won the Champions League back in the days under Johan Cruyff, right? It was
yes, yes.
surprising that nobody has seen such a short guy being a striker, because you'd be like, oh, bro, how are you going to jump past these tall poles, like these tall, very tall defenders, right?
Yes,
Because
yes.
Romario was like 5'2", like serious.
Yeah,
He was
5'3", I think, 5'3" or 5'4".
yeah, he was very short.
It's true. It's true. And this is what I mean, Emmy. You see players like him, even though he was short, he was still physical. You saw it when he played for Brazil. Like, if he had the ball and he was running towards you, if he passes you, like to your right or to your left, I know he's fast, but he can hold you back somehow.
Correct.
But the reason why I give respect to Pep is the fact that he took those players that were bullied, and he gave them a system where no matter what kind of defenders they come across, the
You don't
defenders
need
cannot
to.
touch them.
Yes.
They cannot touch
Yes.
them. They cannot see them.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
You see?
Yep.
And this is why, if he does what he's doing, and he's gonna destroy football using the weak players, so called, in terms of physicality, then this guy is actually our hero.
Abdullah, Google it. Google it. You just said something very important right now. And the other day I was reading a tweet. Someone said that Pep is Antichrist positional play merchant. He's the Antichrist. That's
No. See. Let me tell you what Pep did, right? Which is very interesting, because when you think about it, before Pep came, like what Gullet said, before Pep came, no, before Pep came, there was Arigosaki too. Arigosaki played total football, right? In the late 80s,
Yes,
early 90s. They actually played, the Milan teams played the super brand of football, right? It was total football, one touch football, precise positioning, angle passes, pressing, winning the balls up. So all those things that we're seeing now, they were done those days, just that now it's done at a much super speed. Like, the players now are super fast, right? They'll close down all angles and win the ball at a particular point in the field. Pep, I agree. Pep has given those very diminutive kind of players that you normally associate with, hey, man, this player is strong enough to even have a professional career in football. He has given those players the ability to actually win trophies. Xavi, I watched Xavi in Nigeria 99 under 20. He played in Port Harcourt. He played in a couple of stadia, and I watched him. Xavi was small. Xavi is super small. And man, although Spain won Nigeria 99, they did. With that was actually the revolution of the Spanish, the Spanish giants, right? Those players, most of those players from that under 20 World Cup in Nigeria 99, they actually, they graduated to actually be some of the players that actually won that 2008 Euros. That was the first Euros. About 2 or 3 of them went there. Xavi was there. I think Casillas was in Nigeria 99.
Yeah, he was there. He was there.
Yeah, he was the goalkeeper in Nigeria 99. So you see, I know football with Pep, Man City, I won't lie, someone is going to knock them off their perch. Somebody's going to do it. But the thing is that no team can go toe-to-toe with Man City over 38 games in the entire Europe. Nobody can. Like, it's impossible. You won't be able to do it. Like, you can't keep up because they can win in different ways. They have different kinds of players that are difference makers that can change the game at in a snap of a finger, right? So, and they can do it consistently over a long period of time. No team can do it. No team is assembled that way currently. So you can have teams that can beat them in cups, but I don't think you can see teams that can beat them over that
No,
stretch of a finger.
Emmy, you can always beat them in a one-off game. Always.
That's why I said in cups, like you can win them in cups, right? Cups,
yes, exactly.
Cup games, but you can't beat them in 38 games. It's impossible. Like, you have to win 30 matches, and that's hard. You remember the year Liverpool won the league in 2020? Liverpool had to exit the FA Cup, the League Cup, and I think they only had the Champions League, and they even went out in that Champions League to Atletico in the second round.
Yep.
Right.
Wait, was
for
it
them
Atletico?
to concentrate. It was Atletico. Yeah, Atletico beat them.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Extra time.
Because you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and they from February to May, they had to concentrate on just the Premier League. Remember, there was a game that they had an FA Cup game on Wednesday, and Klopp played the kids. He played their under 20 team.
Emmy, your memory is crazy, man. I can't remember very well COVID league.
It was it was the League Cup against Aston Villa.
That was hard. It was the League Cup.
Yeah, they lost like 6-0.
Yeah, they didn't mind. He played the kids because he said to them that season was the only time, because they saw a weakness in the armor of Man City that season. That was the only, and if you check it, that was the last time Liverpool beat Man City in Etihad.
But Emmy, doesn't that make last year's Liverpool almost quadruple team very impressive?
Man, that quadruple, only Liverpool fans believe that quadruple.
No. I'm saying, but think about it. They lost the league in the last 20 minutes. They reached they reached 4 finals. They reached technically 4 finals.
No, but remember the 2 finals they reached, the FA Cup and League Cup, went to penalties against Chelsea, and if not for stupid Chelsea kids that threw the penalties away,
VAR tax.
Yeah, so a couple of decisions went their way too. Yeah, exactly. Right. So to me, Liverpool don't have that strength to match City pound for pound. Yeah.
No. Emmy. The only teams that can beat City is teams that are either clinically excellent or defensively defensively good. Because if you have for example, Liverpool's entire philosophy was you score 1, we score 2. You score 3, we score 5.
So what you're saying is this, right? Let's just take Man City is that team that enjoys playing the full course, right? They need a team that can slow them down and play them half-court basketball. Like, that half-court, like, we're not, you guys we're going to kill ourselves in this half-court, right? We're going to do our defense versus your attack.
Exactly.
That's the only way you can beat this Man City team. Go ahead.
Let me ask you one question. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know you are very sports oriented.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when there's an undisputed champion, Because what Man City has done now is to call them undisputed champion.
They are not undisputed because they don't want the Champions League yet.
Hold on.
Okay.
No, see, don't
No,
get
no,
carried.
in the Premier League, in the Premier League.
In the Premier League, they are undisputed.
Hold on. Don't get carried away by football. Okay, football is a subset of sports. Okay, and then sports is a subset of human beings. Okay,
Correct.
So now you can call them undisputed. We can give them a tag, say undisputed champion, because if you win 5 in 7, then you can be classified as undisputed. Okay, so in a sports activity where there's an undisputed champion, how can you overcome that champion? Okay, the only way you can overcome that champion, and it is used mainly in individual sports, but you can translate it to a group sport as well. The only way you can overcome an undisputed champion is by 2 ways. It's either you bring in a superior style, which is strategy, okay, or tactics or technique. You bring in a superior technique, or that champion becomes too old to be able to fight at that level or compete at that level. That is the only
There is another option, Abdul.
Go ahead.
The other option is to beat them in their own game.
So you have to bring it first of all superior technique. Okay. So
you have to build a team that's more technical than them, right?
You have to bring a superior technique, or that champion becomes too old. Okay. So but the thing is, what is actually happening mechanically is more or less like you have to kill one to create a new one. That's what is going on. Philosophically, you have to kill something. Like if you want to create a new country, you have to kill the existing country to create a new one. Okay, so I know that
a rebirth.
Exactly. So there has to be like a rebirth. Okay, so what you need to do is like you have to look at Pep's Man City as undisputed champion. Okay, as long as Pep is there and everything is physiologically sound as a human being, okay, he can remain undisputed for as long as he wants, because even if his team grows too old, he'll build a new one.
But we're waiting for that period when he builds that new team.
No, you
because
cannot.
So far he has not.
No, that you can. When you want to take something from an undisputed champion, you don't look for other excuses. You don't consider other parameters. You either bring a superior technique or you don't. You don't think about other parameters. So what I'm saying is like what you need now is the mentality of a Jose Mourinho when he first came to the Premier League. If you look at a lot of things that he was saying then and he was doing, they were quite new to people, and people were not adapted to his style of thinking. But what Mourinho came with is, I want to defeat the undisputed, which is called Manchester United and Arsenal, and I want to be the new champion. And
so now let me
hold on. So if you then go to the things that he was doing and he was saying then, is what you need to actually destroy an undisputed champion, and it has been used everywhere. So if you see that time forever, Man City and Man United and Arsenal were always playing 4-4-2.
Yeah,
he came with. I'm just using just one part of the technique. There's multiple layers to technique. I'm just using the easiest. I'm just using the easiest one that is obvious for us to see. Okay, he brought in tactical implementation. He brought a superior technique. He brought a 4-3-3, where they will always be superior in the midfield, no matter how good Man United were or Arsenal were. Chelsea were always superior in the midfield, and then there were other layers of superior technique that he brought into place. You see, if our other teams are not thinking like this, and they don't go with that mentality and put every other mantra they have aside We want to develop youths. We want to have a structure. We want to, all these things that they are doing. If they don't put all those things aside and make their mantra, we want to take the championship from the undisputed championship. Okay, champion. Okay, Man City and Pep will continue to do what they've done in the past 7 seasons till they are tired of it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's true. But the thing is this, right? The thing is this, Abdul, right? Two things have to happen. First of all, you have to have a team, a club that has the mentality, that wants to build that mentality to disrupt Man City, right? In terms of, hey, our goal is to win the Premier League. We want to build a team that will win the Premier League. 2, they have to have the right ingredients, like the players, the technical players. They have to have that in volume, right? 3, they have to have that new Jose Mourinho. Where is that new Jose Mourinho going to come from? It's not because if you cannot say, oh, let's bring Jose Mourinho from Roma, give him a team, and then you have to get that new Jose Mourinho who is not afraid to take risks.
I mean, everything you've said is correct, okay? But even Jose Mourinho now might not be the same Jose Mourinho of 2004.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay. You need to get that new one. Who is that new one?
No. Now you are going into details. Like, okay, we're going to details. But the key and the emphasis has to come from the club. The club has to say, we want to defeat the undisputed champion. Because this is club versus club. In 50 years' time, people might not really remember Pep that much, but they remember Man City.
Yes.
Okay, so it's club. So Man City are the undisputed champion. Okay, the other details, is actually secondary, but primarily Man City are the undisputed champion. Now, another club, Liverpool, Chelsea, Newcastle, or whatever, they have to.
Newcastle is the closest. I think Newcastle is that team to me.
No. They have to. We don't know their statements. We don't know their organizational statements. We don't know their mission. Okay, but if whoever they are, their mission is to say, okay, we as Newcastle Football Club or we as Chelsea Football Club, we want to defeat the undisputed champion. Look, we'll just be there, just wasting, and Man City will keep doing whatever they want to do, anyhow they want to do it, till they get tired of it. That if you go and listen to interviews by undisputed champions, after they get defeated actually when they get tired of it. You know what I mean? Like they were interviewing one. They were interviewing one. I think Scotch champion in the 80s. I think it was from Pakistan or India. Okay, and he never lost a game of squash. And they said it took you X amount of years and X amount of maybe hundreds of games or thousands of games before you lose. Like what made you lose? Like he said, basically, I just got tired of it. How many press-ups can I do? How many stuff can I do? How many exercise, how many swimming can I do? I basically got tired of it because there was no out there to compete with me.
Yeah.
You get my point?
But that's why, don't you think, let me tell you, don't you think that's why Pep is smart? What Pep is doing to keep that competition up is he's actually selling, he's rotating his players. So after this season, don't be surprised, he sells some players that people are saying, oh, it's not possible. Oh, this guy cannot leave, blah, blah, blah. He brings in another fresh player. That player that he has. Wait, let me just finish. So, you see Zinchenko, you see Sterling, you see Jesus. Those 3 players, he sold them this summer, right? People were like, man, what's wrong with this guy? Man, and he brought in Alvarez, he brought in Haaland, and he brought in the guy he brought in from Leeds. Now, he has refreshed the squad. They are newer players. Those players have made the old players hungrier. Now, next season, if he wins the treble this season, I can bet you Pep is going to refresh that squad again. He's going to let go of 2 players or 3 players who he thinks that, you know what, I can see a better replacement for you in the market. I need to bring players, he might bring a new goalkeeper. He might say, you know what, LSE made a couple of mistakes. I'm bringing a new goalkeeper to push him. Right?
True.
I think my left back, I don't trust Mendy in left back. I'm going to buy a left back.
Okay. So
right?
this is the thing, Emmy. Okay. Whatever a champion does to become undisputed champion is what he does. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, he does what he needs to do to become undisputed. Now, if you then want to defeat that undisputed champion, okay, or you want to take that championship away from him, you cannot bring a superior technique to play if you have not studied that undisputed champion.
Oh, you have.
Okay,
Yeah.
so now we are going to the coaches level. We've moved from club to coaches level. If you bring in another coach, that coach needs to study Pep seriously. It's not enough to just say, I want to beat Pep. You have to study him very well. And then in the techniques, in his methodology, there's going to be weaknesses. In his strategy, in his winning strategy, there's always going to be weaknesses.
Remember, you're not just beating Pep, you are beating about 19 other teams, right? 18 other teams. Sorry, 18 other teams.
Yeah, so
I'm talking of the league, right?
Yeah,
if you're going to beat him in the league, you also have to see how he beats these teams in the league. So how is he getting 29? How is he getting 28 wins? How is he getting 30 wins every season? Because if he's getting 30 wins, that means you need 31 wins. That means you have to beat him in his stadium to win the league.
Exactly. So that goes to the details of you studying what Pep has done. You cannot discountenance a champion. You have to always study that champion in details, in extreme details.
Oh, yeah. But let me ask you a question. What did Jose Mourinho do differently that made him become a champion back-to-back in 05 and 06?
Okay, number one, it has to come from the club. It's the club that is the undisputed champion. Okay? Now, Chelsea and Abramovich at that time, okay, decided they want to be the biggest club in the world. So what does that mean? They want to defeat the undisputed champion in Man United and Arsenal. Okay, correct. Then we go to the next level, which is get somebody. It's like saying get the best trainer or get the best manager.
Who did they get first? They got Peter Kenyon, right? Who had won it for Man U for 7 times. So that was the first person Roman brought, right?
Exactly.
He brought that Peter Kenyon.
Exactly.
He now charged Peter Kenyon and said, build me a team. This is my checkbook. Build me a team that wins this league next season. I don't want to take anything else for win this league.
Exactly. So it can come from you. You can say either it was. We can say Roman Abramovich was that Chelsea then. He was Chelsea then. Okay. Yeah. So he then decided he wanted to beat the undisputed champion. Okay. So once he decided, it's not for him to put all the pieces in place. However he wanted to do it, he had to do it. But then
I remember Arsenal were invincible the year he bought Chelsea.
Thank you very much. So he now had to. The most significant piece is the implementer, is the orchestrator, is the philosopher, the whatever that puts everything together. So he brought in who he believes can help him deliver. But the mantra was he wanted to defeat the undisputed champion.
So that's the question I'm asking. That's what I'm asking you now. Yeah. If there's going to be a disruptor in this current league, right?
Yeah.
Who is that? First of all, what is the team closest to Mancity that you think can actually build a formidable team?
It's not how you are close or how you are far. It's who decides tomorrow, who decides today.
Okay, let's just say Newcastle. Let's just say Newcastle.
Okay. So Emmy, as of today, what is our reality? Our reality today is the undisputed champion is Man City. Okay,
correct.
So who decides today that I want to challenge the champion? Okay, is the closest person to get that champion. So let's hypothetically, for paper's sake, let's say Newcastle. Okay.
Correct.
Now Newcastle have
have the money.
They have not decided. Now they have to put the necessary pieces together. Okay. Mm-hmm. They have to construct their team that they think can deliver this championship. Okay. Who we think is next important is obviously the guy that brings tactical football, the manager. Okay. That manager in his work has to have studied Pep Guardiola 100,000%.
So let's just talk about reality. Eddie Howe, does he have a championship? Does he have a championship pedigree to take a team like Newcastle all the way to 38 games and win 30. It's not possible.
No,
Yes,
Okay,
he's
no.
never done
no.
before in his career.
The truth is, hold on. The truth is, for example, we don't know, so we're looking from the outside. But from the outside,
But based on
people,
history,
hold on,
he has never done it
let's
before.
let's be honest here. From the outside and what this kid
Mhm.
or this man has done in 1 year, there's going to be a debate
Mhm.
out there. Some people will believe he can do it, some people will believe he cannot do it. That's just how it is. Let's not fake it or say because it's
Yeah.
or whatever.
But your argument is the one little flaw that you have. You assume that Liverpool and Chelsea will be just as bad next year, and Liverpool will be compete. It's not going to be so.
No.
Right?
You don't hear the argument,
Mm.
Carl. The argument is not competition anymore. It's gone far away from competition. The argument is who wants to defeat the undisputed champion. There's a reason why they call you an undisputed champion. Okay, you are far ahead. Your technique is far superior. You're on a superior level. Who wants to beat the undisputed champion? You are not competing anymore. In the 100 meters race, everybody in the final is competing. But we knew when Usain Bolt was called the undisputed, there's a reason why we were calling him that undisputed then. Okay, so it's not a matter of like say who is competing, who is not competing. Everybody can compete now.
So Abdul, let's go back to our hypothesis, right? Let's just say Newcastle. So let's say Newcastle now has Eddie Howe. The Newcastle owner say, you know what? We came third. The most we can get this season is 74, 75 points. 75 points cannot win us the title next year. We need to get closer to 92, 93 points if we're going to win the title.
See, Emi,
do we wait? Let me land.
Because so, I will forget now. I will forget as you're distracting me.
Why would you forget? Are you that old?
But it's 3 o'clock in the morning here. It's 3 o'clock in the morning here. I will forget now. So this is the thing. This is the thing. Okay, Emi. Newcastle have decided that they want to defeat the undisputed champion. Okay. How that undisputed champion becomes the undisputed champion is what he does. Okay, at the moment that you want to beat that undisputed champion, okay, logic is out of the way. There's no more logic. It is
why
what you have
use logic
because you want to surmount an undisputed champion.
You have to use logic. Everything, all the stats you're talking is logic.
No. I am not saying sense. Will go out of the way. Okay. I am saying your mantra, your philosophy, is you want to defeat this guy. So you have to implement what you need to implement. Okay. For example, let me just give you a quick example. When I was like 10, 11 years old, okay, I used to be trained by this former ex-champion of Taekwondo. Okay, he used to teach kids around the place.
Abdul, you have a license to kill, huh?
Okay, he used to train the kids around the place. Okay, but the guy was not able to far. But he used to train the kids, around the place. Okay. But he was actually brought in to train an organization. Okay, that was his 9 to 5. But every evening, sometimes when you are walking past his house, you find him hitting the tree with his bare hands. Ooh. And sometimes the hand is bleeding. Okay, so if you want to fight this kind of guy, okay,
oh my God,
you have to study what you have to see what you have to check what he's doing, okay, and then since the logic will go out of the way, I have to now train myself to that level. You get it? I have to do what I have to do to beat this undisputed champion.
But Abdul,
so there's nothing.
What you're saying is mostly for individual sports, right?
You see, we're talking about philosophy. We're not talking about details, implementation. We're talking about details. I'm talking about philosophy, your mindset.
Abdul, let me interject for 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah. Basically, Emi, what Abdul is trying to say is you can apply the same aspects of individual sports into group sports.
Mm-hmm.
And in terms, what he's talking about is in terms of personality traits. People don't give Pep his credit, right? Pep is actually evolving. He's not done evolving yet. You guys remember when we were young? You remember Voltron, the cartoon?
Yes.
You remember Voltron, guys?
Voltron. Yes.
Thank you. You
Blue
remember
lion,
the pieces?
Red lion. And
Thank you.
then
Oh my
Blue
guess what?
God.
The
Lions.
black
Oh my
the
God.
black
Okay.
lion
Okay.
forms the black lion forms everything.
Oh my God. I can't
Thank
believe
you.
it. Oh
Thank you.
wow. Okay.
No,
Okay.
I have to bring
Yeah.
this up for you guys to
Yellow
understand
lion,
what
red
I'm
lion, blue lion,
Yeah, yeah. You
and
see
green
those
lion.
lions. You see those lions, Emmy, right? Those
Mhm.
lions from the beginning to the end is from
Mhm.
Cruyff all the way back to the 80s. The other guy, I forgot his name.
Bosby.
All the way down. Yes, all the way down to now. And every season he's still evolving. We still didn't find Pep as a Voltron yet. This is why when Liverpool started pushing them, he realized that, okay, Klopp understood how I play. I need to evolve. When Arteta left him, okay, Arteta knows how I play. I need to evolve. You need to get a coach with a caliber and obsession that is out of this world in terms of the pure love of football. And that is the hardest thing to find, first of all. Before we even talk about the club and the club backing you, just like Abdul said, we need to find a sense, an obsessive guy that studies football like he's breathing oxygen.
Somebody
Why
who
do
is
you think
ready.
why do
Somebody
you
who is
think
ready.
why do you think we don't know that person right now?
No, the person is out there, okay, but we have to find him. It's not you Emmy and me that are going out there to look for them.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
out there. We even don't know. Maybe this Eddie Howe is it. Okay, maybe he
Mm,
just never had the
mm.
maybe he just never had the opportunity. Okay, we
So
don't know. We don't
let's
know.
put the hypothetical again, right?
Let me just quickly complete this. Okay, then I'll because there's a few people here who want to talk. Okay,
Oh, okay.
the reason why I was giving that guy that hits the tree with his hand is if you look at that guy and you want to fight that guy, every other thing else that you do is out of the window. You have to think what you need to do that will bring in your hand to be more superior than that guy's hands, because you can already see what this guy is doing with his hands. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is all those philosophy, all those mentality. Okay, we'll improve, we'll go to fifth, and then from there we'll go to second. And that is not how to beat an undisputed. You have to study, critically study what the undisputed is doing, and you bring this a superior technique into play. How you bring that superior technique onto play depends on you.
I don't agree, Abdul. And here's why.
Abdul,
Of course you won't agree now
No,
because you are enjoying.
let me explain my point of view. Let me explain my point of view.
No,
So
you are the champion
understand
now,
what
so you are enjoying your championship now. How will you
Abdul,
agree?
let him talk.
I understand what you're saying, right? I get what you're saying. You're trying to find it. The problem is that, every so often in a generation, there comes a Picasso, there comes an Einstein, there comes a Marie Curie,
Mozart.
there comes a Mozart who does something that nobody else can do. And what we need to recognize, and I'm not saying it because he's my manager. Even when it was at Barcelona, I love this guy, right? Fell in love, made me fall in love with football, essentially, right? It's just recognize that sometimes you just can't find somebody who's like this guy. You just have to appreciate the moment you are in and soak it in as a lover of the game. Phil Jackson and NBA, right?
Carl, at the start of my argument, what did I call them?
Even Alex Ferguson.
Hold on, Emmy. At the start of my argument, what did I call them? I said they are undisputed, and they are undisputed for a reason. And I said the only way you can defeat them is either you bring a superior. I'm not saying this is how to defeat them. I said this is the only way you can defeat them. Either you bring a superior technique to the place, or they grow old.
They go old. Time does the thing.
Also, Carl, to add to what you said, Arigosaki also,
exactly.
also revolutionary. Right?
Thank you very much. Right, you want Cruyff, right? So they get old.
Even Bosby. If we go back to the 60s, you have coaches that this pressing football we watch now.
There's this guy from Ukraine. What's his name again? I heard about him recently. The one guy from Ukraine, one coach from Ukraine that was Russian. Before they split up, this guy was doing all this stuff before now, winning titles and winning European championships and winning stuff now. It's the cycles. But the thing about it is that we as fans need to kind of appreciate the moment we're in And
We are
ask
witnessing
ourselves,
greatness, Ogaka.
you ask us, and I'm not talking as a city. I'm just talking as a lover of the game itself.
No, I'm being honest. I'm being honest.
You know,
In
watch
terms of
this
football,
guy, when I watched the 2008 FC Barcelona when they won the first when they won his first Champions League, I mean, I was just mesmerized. I was just like, what is this we're watching? How can you coach? And listen, I coach, but it's hard to coach a team to play like this. It's hard. It's difficult. So when I see people like De Zerbi, oh, by the way, that game on Wednesday is going to be fire, right? When I see people like De Zerbi playing the kind of football that he plays, I'm like, man,
you guys are playing Brighton next.
Yeah, it's going to be a fire game. It's going to be fire.
Are you sure Pep is going to bring his best team, or he's just going to bring his son?
No, he's going to bring his best
young.
team. He's going to bring the best team
You
because
think
he wants
so?
to get them ready for next week.
Yeah, I agree. Because this Brighton game will make them actually excite and run hard, because Brighton will push them. Brighton is the last team that will push them before that final against Inter.
Yeah. Which the reason I want to watch that is I want to see what these guys, both teams can do, because Brighton in possession they are bloody brave, man. The things that they do, I mean, the risks that they take. How do you want to build your play going with a man-to-man press? Without when they played Arsenal, man-to-man.
They went man-to-man at the Emirates. Remember, at the Emirates.
And Emmy, not only you're building man-to-man centrally.
Yes, that's scary, because you know what? If one of those defenders don't close that ball or close that man down, and the opposition turns, the entire field is open. It's so wide. Like, bro, they can actually pick a pass and they'll score. Yeah. Right.
So when I'm watching Brighton, I'm
that is very risky, but they trust themselves in that system. Yeah.
So
they trust themselves. Yeah.
So when I watch games of football, I watch to see, wow, what are they doing? Why are they doing it? Wow, what kind of bravery is that? How do they do that kind of stuff? What can I learn from that? I remember Conte's title win. You know, I was a rival. Yes, I was disappointed, but I respected what he did. The way he played with the wing backs and his build-up play. Even Thomas Tuchel, I enjoyed some of his play because I understood what he was trying to do. I could see.
Thomas Tuchel's final third has 5 versus 4. So he has you defending with 4, and he has 5 players attacking with 4. So there's always an extra man somewhere, right?
So when I watch the game, I'm not just watching the goals. I'm watching how they build up, what they play, what the little
that's how I watch the game too. If I can't get that in a football match, I stop watching, because to me it's just too mechanical.
I'll give you an example, Emmy. This concept called artificial transition, right?
Yes, when you win the ball.
If you notice what Brighton do, the goalkeeper and the fullbacks, whenever they have the ball, sometimes they'll put the ball under their foot for like 3 seconds, right? They're waiting for you to jump. Meanwhile, their players are moving into position. So it's what they call artificial transition. You know, the ball's not moving, but the players are moving ahead of them, and they're waiting for the opposition to jump so that the space can be created. It's incredible. So, back to Abdul's point, you say, can you learn it? Yes, you can try, but these Picassos, these Marie Curies, these guys always find a way to invent themselves. The Arrigosaki, they reinvent themselves again and find another way to get it done. I mean, you want to talk about football.
Look at Pep's current system, 3-box-3. You know, that system is becoming hard. It's almost impossible to crack, right? Because
it's tough.
that box in the midfield are 4 different characteristics of midfielders in one system, fused in one shape, right? It looks like it's a box. It becomes a kite. It becomes, they can spread.
It changes based on. I mean, I'm confused on who's playing what positions. Like, who's playing what? Why is this guy here? What's going on here?
But it's a hybrid between 3-box-3 and 4-4-2.
Yeah,
the funny thing. Let me give you an example. So
remember that before you go, Carl. That was your Cruyff system. You know that
it was
3-5-3. 3-5-3, right?
Yeah.
Kite in the middle, that kite
Diamond, yeah,
in the
three
base,
diamond three.
the diamond, the diamond had Pep Guardiola in
Yeah, yeah.
the base,
It
right?
was Guardiola,
Then
Wittgenstein,
yeah.
Laudrup was there. What's his name was there? That
They
Ronald
will
Koeman was
destroy
there.
you. That kite and the three in front of them will pass you to shreds. Like at some point you'll be like, man, who the hell are these people? Can we ever get the ball?
So when we look at all these coaches, Ancelotti, these guys are just on a different level. They see the game in 3 dimensions. I mean, it's crazy. And this is what I enjoy about the game. It's so bad, Amy, and I do that. When I don't have my team coach, I actually go to games and watch like random games. I just can watch and study what's going on. What's this coach doing? What are they playing? What would I do? Just to study it. What would the Tuchel do? What would this guy do? What would that guy do? How would I change this game to make sure they can win? I just love the game.
That's why I don't read Pochettino, because Pochettino does not evolve. He's going to try and do the same thing he did in Spurs. Meanwhile, the game has left 2016 and has actually evolved twice. It's actually evolving the third time. Next season will be third time it's evolving since 2016. Someone like Pochettino will come next year and try to do the same thing he did in 2016 when he changed Leicester to the league title. And the thing is this, right? He becomes a calamity. He doesn't win enough games. He gets sacked. Why? It's not like he's not a good coach. It's just because the game has changed. The game has evolved.
Amy, you can't blame him. You can't blame him. I'll tell you why.
Why?
I'll tell you why.
Okay, why?
The evolving we are talking about. Who is at the head of evolving football? It's Pep.
Yes.
Everybody underneath him is not evolving. It's not only him.
No, but people are evolving. De Zerbi is evolving.
De Zerbi is new. No. De Zerbi is new, Amy. De Zerbi is new. Amorim is new.
But you see, those are the guys that are the disruptors that Abdul was talking about. Those are the guys I'll say, okay, you know what? I've studied this guy. I can get a better system if I have a better set of technical players. I can match this guy. But the thing is this, why it's so difficult? Why it's so difficult to do is, how can you have the technical knowledge as a coach, right? Now you also need to get the technical players on the field. And
Amy, are you there?
We lost him.
Yeah, Ogaka, what I wanted to tell Amy was, right? Fair enough. We might have Ruben Amorim.
You're back. You see all the ifs that have to happen. I'm talking about already 3 big ifs, right? In Pep's case, he doesn't have any if. There's no if.
Yeah,
everything
but Amy,
he wants, he gets.
That's why I was.
So if you want to beat Pep, you have so many barriers to climb, which is almost impossible to have everything lined up in the box.
Thank you, Amy. Because look, we are looking at the game from the formation standpoint at the moment, right? But people are forgetting the characteristics of Pep. We see Pep as Ogaka said, as a Mozart or Marie Curie or Da Vinci, right? Once in a blue moon kind of human being. But to himself, he's still mediocre. So he's ready to constantly evolve for the next 10 years, every season.
Yeah.
So even if you bring a so-called technician, he might beat him for 1 season, just like Liverpool did. But he's gonna come back and spank that ass the next season.
You know the funny thing
season after.
Who's speaking? Good.
Yeah.
You know the funny thing is that, and this is where, when I watched the Arsenal-Liverpool game this year, right?
Oh, the one in April?
Yes.
The draw.
That first half. Was it that first half? When Arsenal destroyed Liverpool first half.
Yeah, 2-0. Yeah.
Second half starts. Guess what Jurgen Klopp does? He moves Trent Alexander-Arnold into the box. Liverpool scored 2 goals, almost win the game. Because now he has more control in the middle of the park, which means he
box
has
overload.
Which is Arsenal now. Essentially.
Absolutely, yeah.
So even Jurgen Klopp, said, look, I can't keep this. I can't keep doing what I'm doing before. I can't keep playing Trent as this wide fullback bombing forward on the right hand side because there's too much spacing behind. I need to figure out how to keep back control of the ball. Why don't I drop this kid who's good on the ball, central midfield next to Fabinho, and I have 2 10s and 2 6s, and let Van Dijk, Konate, and Robertson become the back three when we have possession, and then bingo. The same thing that Arteta tries to do with Zinchenko, where Zinchenko plays this half hybrid inverted fullback / natural fullback, going in and out based on whether he has the ball.
Let me ask you a question, Carl.
Yeah.
Why didn't
Can you guys hear me?
Arteta?
Yeah.
We can hear you. Why didn't?
I was fixing my
Wait now.
No. Before you go ahead, you made a very important point earlier on, and I don't want us to miss it. Okay.
Okay. Go ahead.
You said when somebody mentioned what's his name, Pochettino. Okay.
Yeah.
You said Pochettino cannot do it.
No, he cannot react. He never reacts.
No. You said somebody said, okay, what about Pochettino? And your response was like, oh, Pochettino is not it. Okay.
No,
so
he's not.
He's not okay. So the reason why you said that is because you've never seen Pochettino defeat an undisputed before.
He beats Pep. He beats Pep. No, he beats Pep in one-on-one games, right?
You can beat everybody. Mohamed Ali lost now. Okay. You can. What I'm trying to say is you can go become the undisputed. I'm not saying go do a one-off. Okay.
Even Lampard did a one-off.
Exactly. So you've not seen Poch defeat an undisputed and become undisputed before. That is why you said no.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then number two, like Carla said, the Picassos, the Pascals, okay, all these great people, they start doing that. They start displaying that greatness from the start. They don't grow into it.
That's why the names De Zerbi and Amorim came up, right? Because those two coaches are actually defining their own style of football.
You can see the signs.
Yes,
you can see the sign from the start.
Yes, you can tell that they want to stand out from everybody's trying to be, play this. They have their own style of football, which is high risk, high reward, according to Blue Eyes. Guess what? They'll press you to your goalpost and win that ball. And when they do, they'll turn you over and keep you there.
Exactly. So you can see the traits in them. You can see the traits in them. Okay. When they finally get that opportunity to become undisputed, either they crumble, okay, or they establish
Congrats to Brazil, by the way, for making Europe.
Yeah. In their first time. So another thing is, you see those kind of coaches like I would just call De Zerbi and Amorim. I want to see them being backed by a top team. Like maybe Amorim goes to Newcastle, gets backed big time, buys the technical players that he believes that can actually play his style of football. And I want him to go 38 games with Pep. Those are the kind of challenges I want. I'm sure Pep is also looking at. Pep will get bored if he keeps winning the league without any competition, right?
Emi, let me play devil's advocate with you.
Yeah.
You see the point that you brought up with De Zerbi and Amorim, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is why we need to be.
For people that don't know who Amorim is the Sporting Lisbon coach.
Yes, Sporting Lisbon coach. Yes. For the point that you just brought up, Emi, right? This is the issue we are going to face. Because what is our objective as football fans? Is it, just like Abdul said, to dethrone the undisputed Pep? Or is it just to, like what Arsenal did, fight for the league and be up there with him? What is our objective actually? Is to dethrone him, right? We're talking about dethroning the master, right?
Good. The problem with Arsenal this season was one of the experience required to get to. Because think about this, right? If Arsenal were 2 up against Liverpool the way now at Anfield. Arsenal were 2 up against West Ham. Arsenal lost 3-0, they drew 3-3 to Southampton.
I was fixing my microphone. I had my internet.
Let's take Liverpool. Let's say it's a draw. It's Anfield, so you get a point. Fine. Okay, that's a good result.
Okay.
Well, you beat West Ham and you beat Southampton. All of a sudden, that's 4 points. What are we talking? We're talking here. Hear about
Mr. Kyle, play in some so I will be able to know how to comment.
going into the City game.
No,
with
we're talking about
How to dethrone the undisputed Pep. That's what we're talking about.
Okay. Mr. Kyle, me and you are talking about this stuff. I said we did it before you. I think the last thing we did before you came in. Whoever wants to win the Premier League has to win at least 30 games to win the Premier League.
This is the problem. The problem is, I mean, these guys could get to 94 points this year. I mean, that's just crazy.
See,
without even trying, it's crazy.
Let me just add this, right? If Newcastle, to me, I see someone said in the chat that if Man U gets the
people in the chat, make a new verse. I will read your comments. I was having an internet problem. You see this America. Emily in America, Mr. Carl.
Abdullah, don't talk too much. They might hear you. Don't talk too much.
Yeah, they might hear you. They just cut your
They
internet.
might hear you, Abdullah. They might hear
you. My workplace.
You better choose your words.
Look how long you've been suffering. Look how long you've been suffering with your mic already. Watch it carefully.
Yeah. So what I wanted to say was, right, if you look at Manchester United, right, the Manchester United faithfuls believe that, like someone wrote in the chat, I just read the chat, someone actually said, if Ten Hag is backed, can Ten Hag go all the way? Now the thing is,
Emmy, that depends. Emmy, it depends on this final. It depends on this final. This final will show us.
No, this final.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
Pep is going to whip him big time. But the thing is this.
No. Emmy. If Ten Hag tries something and actually tries to fight against Pep this final, then I will back him next season to beat Pep. I honestly, if he gets his backing in the final,
he cannot beat Pep. Do you know why? Should I tell you why?
I said if. I never said he will. I said if.
Because you know why? You know why? Because he's playing a Pep model of football, right? I'm not saying that a Pep model of football cannot beat Pep, but you cannot beat a Shaolin master with the same Shaolin tricks. He'll tell you
he's playing stage one Pep football, and Pep is on stage 10.
I can't argue against that.
Yeah, because Pep will tell you, before you became a Shaolin monk, I built the monastery, right? I built the monastery and put you guys in there and taught you guys how to play Shaolin, how to fight Shaolin, right? Wait, Abdullah, hold on.
Go ahead.
I taught you guys how to fight Shaolin. You cannot come and beat me to the Shaolin style. Now, that's why me and Abdullah are saying, anybody that's going to take this Premier League from Manchester City is going to be someone that actually comes in with a style and philosophy that nobody understands and has seen, and will take everybody by wow. Before people understand what's happening, it's already game 24 of the season, and they've opened a gap, right? A huge gap.
That's what Liverpool did in 1920.
Yeah, they've opened a big gap.
Before anybody could do anything, they're already 19 points clear by Christmas. It was
over. And guess what? It's over. And that's the only way you can beat this Man City team to the title, because
get it done kind of starts.
Yeah, Man City starts slowly. Their first 10 games, they might draw 2 and win 6, and and maybe lose 1. But you see, once it gets to game 12 of the season, they start to grind. From 12 to 24, from week 12 to week 24, Man City does not lose games. They are winning all the games. And they go all the way to January, just before the Champions League starts. And then they do that international break. Man City has cramped how to win this Premier League, guys. If you want to beat Man City, you have to look at how they've actually accrued their points through the season over the last 5 years, and know when they are their weakest, and look at also how to get that disruptive, what we're talking about, get that ability to have a system or a technique or a style that nobody has actually seen. Implement that, have the right players, put those guys in and give them the mentality and say, go and win those matches. I want you to win your first 15 matches this season. Get that 45 points after week 15. And then guess what? Let's see. You now say, okay, let's see if Man City, because Arsenal tried this season. In the first 15 games, I think Arsenal won 12. Right? I think they won 12. They won out of the first 45 points that were to fight this season, they had 40 points. That's for the first 15 games. But guess what? As the season churned on, they kind of started struggling with injuries, Of course, they had some
Yeah, man,
disappointments
you
in
are
the
sick
cups.
in the head for doing
They,
this.
wait, hold on. They had some.
For what, Abdullah? For what?
Yeah,
If you know, you know. If you know, you know.
They had some stuff. But Arsenal were good until the end of March. At the end of March, they had 8 points clear. They were 8 points clear.
Yeah.
The problem was the next 3 games in April, which they drew. They drew Southampton, they drew Liverpool, and they drew West Ham. Those 3 draws brought Man City back. And guess what? At that time, Man City just beat Bayern Munich. And Man City were in song. To them, they said, you know what? I can tell you, if Arsenal had won those 3 games in April, Pep would have just said, let's concentrate on the Champions League. There's no point because these guys are clean. Yeah, they would have been clean. But as soon as those 3 draws happened, it dropped from 8 points to 4 points. 8 points to 4 points. Guess what? You still have to play Man City twice. They played Man City. Yeah, they played Man City in I think they played them in FA Cup. Man City beat them in that FA Cup.
FA Cup, yeah.
They beat them. They beat them in FA Cup, and then they played them in the league the first time because of it was postponed from the earlier in the season. As soon as Man City had that advantage of beating them twice in April, it was game over. It was game set match. Because guess what? Again, Arsenal gave Man City the ability to look and see the Premier League title right on their path. Because as soon as Man City said, you know what? We've done this before. Guess what? This is week 30 of the league, week 33 of the league. Arsenal would crumble under pressure. The pressure was too much. And guess what? Even though Arsenal beat Chelsea, and then they went on to, I think they won their next 2 games after those 3 draws, which closed them into May, right? And then they played Brighton. That game in Brighton, that game against Brighton was the end of discussion right there.
And
that was what killed.
That
was a knockout punch. That's what you call, in boxing they call it the 12th round, the 12th round jab. What kills? It was at the Emirates.
It was at the Emirates. Yeah, it was at home.
Shout out to you. Shout out to you. I'm at Etihad Stadium. Davido come to Etihad Stadium to shout out to Puma. Shout out.
Oh, Davido was there.
Yeah, he
was there. He was there on Sunday.
Wait, did he
when they beat Chelsea.
No, Davido came there because
Puma, I know he was at the game, but I thought he was gonna perform.
No,
did
he
didn't perform.
No, he didn't perform. No.
Oh, okay.
I didn't watch that game. I was at my son's game.
Oh,
The level of confidence Mr. Carr that he knows is gonna.
they already won the league. They already won the league.
She's a confidence.
Abdullah, they already won the league. What's the point of watching the game?
Yeah, it was my son's game.
Celebrations already complete by the time.
Meet your mic. So I want to come to Mr. Cow on this. Mr. Cow.
Yeah.
Manuel Ugarte to Chelsea. Give me your take on it.
He's a good player now. He's a good player. The question is, the problem is not the player. Well, maybe some players that you have are not good enough, clearly. But it's who's going to coach them to get the best out of them.
Pochettino is going to be the new coach, so.
Pochettino has to win something. He can't do the Tottenham stuff and where just
that's my fear.
Shine teeth and shine yash and then expect everybody to be happy. It's not going to work out.
Carl. Let me be Abdullah for 1 second. Chelsea is Chelsea. Tottenham is Tottenham.
Yeah, I'm saying he's going to have to come here and figure out very quickly what do we target to win. No, it's you all don't have time for all this Tottenham stuff. Tottenham, I said in last summer that Tottenham make me want to throw up. There's one club I can't stand. That's Tottenham. I just can't stand them. They're neither hot nor cold. They're just like there. So
how do you rate Manuel Ugarte?
He's a good player. He's a good player. He's a good player. I've watched him a couple of times. I watched him against Arsenal. He was brilliant against Arsenal at the Emirates. I remember that game. He scored that wonder goal. Was it him that scored that wonder goal?
No, it was not the one. Because when they got the red card, it was the one she did the back. He went back to back. When they get the red card, he has to play defense for them.
Yeah, he's a good player. I like Portuguese players. I like their mentality. They fight. They're confident. They believe in themselves.
No, this one is Uruguay. No.
It's Uruguay.
Yes, Uruguay. Yeah.
Okay.
Which even makes it better, man.
Yeah, well, you Uruguayans are, think of what's his name at Real Madrid. What's that guy's name again? That boy.
Valverde.
Yeah.
And Darwin Nunes also too is from Uruguay.
Yeah. So I mean, he's a good player. Good player, decent player.
Very good. Emi, Manuel Ugarte.
But if you ask me, I think you need a striker. That's what I
Yeah,
think
we
you
do.
need.
We are already working on this. We do. Yeah. But the first one they want to fix is the goalkeeper, the defensive midfielder, and striker.
I think the first thing you need is a proper striker. I'm using Rami Sterling and Kai Havertz as a striker.
No, I think we're gonna buy a 9. And the question now boils to who are we getting? Because there's a lot of lists outside, which I don't want to until it's kind of big, maybe until Austin talk about it.
Are you not linked to Vlahovic?
Vlahovic,
No, the links were
real
dispelled.
because
They were dispelled.
It's not a real link.
Oh, okay.
It's just about people want to talk. It's not, I don't think it's a real link. Because Fabricio has come out and said it that no, we are not talking. But at the moment, Vlahovic, he said it's part of the list, but
The
it's
list.
not target. He only said it's only 2 players on Chelsea's target who are Victor Osimhen and Lautaro Martinez. That's only 2.
Okay.
Abdullah, can I go?
Yeah, go ahead, Abdul.
Yeah. So the thing is, I only heard about this kid maybe like a week ago, and I've watched 2 90-minute game of him. I really like what I've seen so far. I think he will be the ideal replacement of Makelele and Mikel Obi in our team. He's a proper DM. And the games I've seen him playing a DM, he actually played a DM in front of a back 3. And he's one of those DM that hardly leaves being a DM. He's a born DM. And he's tough, and he can go in with a very good tackle, a strong tackle. And but the first game I watched, I think it was against I can't remember who they were playing against then, but he actually won Sporting a penalty in that game, even as a DM. So to me, I would suggest we'll sign him, because if we sign him, it gives us the alternative of playing with either a back 3 or a back 2 with a secured defensive midfield. And that takes me to the next question. I mean, the next answer to your question is, I've been hearing people saying, Chelsea needs a striker. Chelsea needs a striker. You need to get a striker. So who are you buying? You're buying this or you're buying that? Chelsea needs more than one striker. Seriously. Okay? Because now, as if you follow our conversation tonight, we're talking about a guy who's not only the champion, but the undisputed champion. We need 2 strikers. We cannot play. See, if we play with one striker next season, you're going to be singing the same song you were singing this season and last season. We have to change something fundamentally. And if we're going to go ahead with the approach of our 3-5-2, okay, our 2 players at the top has to be 2 strikers. Because even the 3-5-2 or 3 at the back thing, recently it was Conte that introduced playing with 1 striker and 2 10. The old 3 at the back used to play with 2 double strikers. And I will suggest that's what we go for. We need 2 strikers. With 1 striker, you will not smell. I don't think you can even smell. This Chelsea team will smell winning 25 games next season with just 1 striker. We need 2 strikers, definitely. People talk about 1 striker as if it's illegal to have 2 strikers. I don't understand. Okay, until Pep starts playing 2 strikers next season again, and then before you guys wake up to it, he's won the league before Christmas. People have to be dynamic. I'm not saying obviously we don't have the responsibility of coaching, but even in our own imagination, it seems people are not dynamic in our own imagination anymore. And I was saying to somebody, okay, we contractually own Lukaku. So let's say we buy Osimhen.
He's not coming back.
Hold on, but we own him now. Leave all that paper talk. This football. Okay? We own him. Whatever he wants to say, he can go to any club.
Own is a very hard word.
People know what we own his contract.
Yeah, you have to be a bit careful. Considering the environment, the landscape right now we're in.
Hello, we just dropped 100 million. Is it a joke? 100 million is not a joke. But he's a Chelsea player. That's what I'm trying to say. Officially, still a Chelsea player.
Yeah.
So let's say we bring in a Victor Osimhen. I would like to see the defenders that would like to face Victor Osimhen and Lukaku on a Saturday afternoon.
You can't play Lukaku and Osimhen together.
Hold on. Now, how can you say you can play? Is it till Pep does something before you know it's possible?
Okay, go ahead.
I would like to see the defenders that will fancy going head on hand with Victor Osimhen and Lukaku on a Saturday after on a match day. So what I'm putting to the table is, okay, we need more than just one striker.
Mm-hmm.
That's my argument. And then with this kid, I hope we can actually get him, because it will be the first time we're getting a proper DM since Mikel Obi left the club. I've only seen 2 games of him, but they are both 90 minutes that I've watched recently. I think it was Kima that threw me the link where I can check, where I can watch all games.
This guy
that dropped me.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so I've seen 2 games of him, and he's a proper DM.
Co-host Manuel Ugarte. Steve Ugarte to Chelsea.
Yeah, big up everyone, man. No, I haven't really been watching football.
Big up.
Chelsea depressed me, man. I haven't watched. I've seen he's a good player, but I don't know, bro.
So it's all about waiting games. Fair enough. Kiman, Manuel Ugarte.
Abdullah, honestly, let me not lie to you. I've been hearing this guy's links for a while, and I didn't honestly care because watching Chelsea just made me depressed. You understand? But now, listen, if it's between him and Caicedo, you know how I feel about that scam organization, Brighton. I'd rather take a chance with this guy. Listen, he looks good. I keep seeing compilations on him on Twitter, so I think maybe he already has a fan base. Listen, if we can get him, get him. I will never say no to improving the midfield, never. I'm not going to lie here and say I know the guy and I've watched every single minute of him. No, you know, what else can I say, man? It seems that it's only, I believe it's only Aston Villa who are in for him, right?
Yeah,
I know Liverpool have pulled out.
Yeah, but fair enough. J2S Manuel Ugarte. J2S, you there? J2S, are you there? I think he's muted. But for me, because it's when I look at Ugarte play, someone I kind of like. It's like a destroyer, and I kind of enjoy what I saw in him. Because I always refer to something back when I was in Africa. I use those words a lot in this stream. Is a leg breaker. I need the leg breaker in my team. We have so many lazy players, which I'm not comfortable with. So I need someone that can break leg. And that Ugarte is that guy that he doesn't care. We just break anybody's leg, which I want in our team. One that can break leg. And I'm also happy that it's from South America, because South American players are always very good technically. Technical baller, they're very, very good technically. So I'm happy we're going for Manuel Ugarte, and hopefully we can get him, bring him to the bridge. Let's ball. Bring him to the bridge, let's ball. For me. And also shout out, congratulations to Newcastle of making the Champions League. The very first time, I think the last time they did it was in 03-04, if I'm not mistaken. So congrats to Newcastle United making the UCL.
Abdullah, how many games did they win this season? Can we see briefly?
Okay, let me
see. Like the table. Let's just. Okay. I just want to measure something.
Okay, let me see. Congratulations to Newcastle fans, the people who live in Newcastle and the people who live in England. Congratulations to Newcastle making the UCL, making top 4. I'm happy for them because they deserve to win. They won. They won 13 dollars.
Hold on.
21 wins. They won 21 games.
No. No, it says 37. Win 19.
19, yeah. Win 19. They won 19.
Okay.
Interesting.
So let's say they were just able to win 3 extra. Then we're talking about 80 points.
80 points, yeah.
Man, these guys are gonna push. They're gonna push the other teams next season. Trust me. I don't know. Maybe they want to win the league next season. I don't know. Only they can say that. But from the improvement I'm seeing, okay. But the problem is they're gonna play Champions League next season. So
Yeah, they have to rotate.
yeah, and then
And they have the money to spend, so it's a little bit scary. They have the money to spend.
exactly. I mean, if you just look at that and you say you cannot tell me this team is not capable of winning maybe 2 or 3 extra games. So that's them clocking 80 points. You know, what I'm trying to say is next season they are a threat.
They are, yeah.
They're a serious threat next season.
I agree.
So, you know, Chelsea gotta know, they gotta like make up their minds what they're doing. All this nonsense they're going around the whole place. You know, they've got to get seriously.
I got you, Mr. Cow. Newcastle making the UCL.
You know, in August, I predicted they will make top 6, but not top 4. I had no idea they'll make top 4, but I said top 6 because their form was very good going into last year. But top 4, I was surprised. I mean, congratulations to them. So Liverpool are in Europa League now, confirmed.
Yeah. Even if they win, Liverpool are out already.
Unless United lose 2 games.
It's not possible.
Yeah, unless United lose 2 games. No, all this 1 point from 2 games and it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Liverpool Europa League.
So we'll be seeing Barcelona, everybody in St. Vincent's Park. Wow.
Incredible
scenario. Congrats to you, Newcastle. The people in Newcastle, congratulations to you now. Wow.
So Brighton and Liverpool are in Europa League.
Yeah. Brighton just need one more point to guarantee but they are already in Europa League already. They need just
and Villa are in. Villa have to qualify for 7th.
Yeah.
They have to win the next game to qualify for.
You know who they play next?
Who?
Brighton.
At the end of the season.
Yes, sir.
Last game.
Yes, sir.
Spurs may get to.
They play Brighton. They play Brighton.
Wow, that's a tough game for Brighton.
Well, I think Brighton play you guys on Wednesday. I don't know if Pep is gonna rotate the team.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Brighton are 61. Yeah. Well, it's not that bad though. See, Brighton.
Can they leapfrog Liverpool? Can they?
Well, they could mathematically, I think.
So they win their next 2 matches, they'll go above Liverpool.
Yeah, they will. Yeah. That'll be 67. Yeah.
Wow. So Liverpool has to lose against Southampton. Yeah. Liverpool play Southampton next.
Yeah, that's only
they'll win now. They'll win.
Liverpool
probably finish fifth, or unless United lose their next 2 matches. If Chelsea beat United.
Yeah.
What's United last game?
They play Fulham.
Away or home?
At home.
So the last 2 games are at home.
Yes, last 2 games are at home.
Fulham will want revenge back, because this guy will be back now. What's his name?
Yeah, he's back. Yeah, he's back already.
That's not an easy game. Yeah. That's not an easy game at all.
Are you thinking that is going to drop point in the next 2 matches? That's going to be crazy.
Well, they're going to beat Chelsea. Get something there. Yeah, but all they need is a point now. So they're done.
They'll probably beat us. If they lose to Fulham, it's fine, but they'll probably beat us.
Yeah, it's done.
They'll probably beat us.
Anyway, Baba, the season is over.
Yeah, probably beat us. So it's okay. It's what they do. It is what they do. We play Thursday.
I have a strong feeling it's going to be another painful season next season. But
we'll see.
Let's just
quickly. I want us to quickly talk on him before we round up. Mr. Carl, you see how this Spaletti is leaving Roma. He's leaving Napoli. Do you have any news about it? I think he was having a problem with the president. I think he's having a problem with the president, which is what the Laurentiis. I think with the player recruitment and I think wages, something like that, he's having a problem with it.
Maybe he's in. It's going to Tottenham. Maybe.
No, I think Tottenham wants to go to they want to sign the Fenoid coach.
Okay.
They're looking to the Fenoid coach. So Spaletti is leaving. You take good, bad.
Okay. Me also.
All right. Thank you guys for coming. I appreciate you guys.
All right.
Let me quickly read the chat for people. Let me read the chat for you guys. Vote for Fitz Tuchel.
Big up cards.
Only issue was they could only beat him in the cup. I say post studying the game is not going to attack the league. We'll see. With Mourinho, it was psychology. The first person confessed to the player he was here to win the league. He said it was a special one. The conference was only 7 days after he won the league. We'll see. Vote said the answer is no one, which is why City will win the league next year. Only Ten Hag, if Sheikh Jason back United, then they can compete. We don't know. Jim Ratcliffe might come in. We don't know. We don't know what is we don't know the latest yet. We'll have to wait and see. Everyone is just under process. Sound like Bielsa, but we'll see. The defense, FBI watch list, we'll see. Deserbi is Gole said Deserbi, Amiron, we need to have a full control of transfer in order to have a chance. Also, they are ready to keep evolving. This is the question which we need to ask ourselves. We'll see. Poch is done. Fabrizio said he's already working already. The club will announce. All right, sir. All right, thank you, sir. Whatever they want. Chelsea is something else entirely, man. Announce manager, make we race. We'll see. We're honest, slow do well over there. We'll see, though. We'll see. Professor Kashati, if I'm
Okay.
Yeah. Personally, I will go for Matthias Nunes. We'll see. Ugarte is gonna take some Gura into the Premier League. Oh, some Gra into the Premier League. That's never say that added to that. Who we're going to have. I like it though. Break somebody's leg. Ugarte is the same height as Enzo. That's a concern. Head doesn't work on relax. I want someone that can break leg, and Ugarte can break leg for me. Period. Why would Julian Naran put his reputation on the line? Chelsea made a bid for Uber. We know that club do not want to get him for leg. Maybe it's true. Go leg. I don't trust Julian Laurent, so it is what it is. Declan height also though. We see. Poch is not going to play back. He will play back 4. We see Pep will keep evolving this time. But literally, let's get our popcorn out and enjoy history making. We shall see. Ugarte is not what we need. We need a proven player in the Premier League. We cannot take risks with unproven player. Go ahead. I'm gonna take Ugarte ahead of Moise Caicedo. It is what it is. Congrats to Newcastle, Chioma. Congrats to
Abdullah, my battery is almost dead. Like
no, Peace. Yeah, Newcastle replaced Chelsea. Brighton qualified automatically. Yeah, Abdullah to beat Pep, you need to win minimum. Even if you play FIFA or E4, you cannot win 30 games on hard mode. Let's stop selling dreams. We shall see. Guys, like the video, subscribe, smash the like button. Guys, I appreciate you guys for coming today. Peace out, guys. God bless. Stay safe. Have a blessed day. Peace.